Douluo, the celestial pillar that shoots at the sun. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1, Traveling Through the Po Hun Clan. My name is Yang Wudi, and I am a simple worker. How simple is it? I am nearly 35 years old, and it has been more than 10 years since I graduated from college, but I have achieved nothing so far. From entering the society with hope at the beginning, to being heavily in debt now. I have worked in factories, sales, management, and e-commerce. From a novice to now, I have gradually become numb. My biggest hobby since I was a child is martial arts. I have had a martial arts dream since I was a child. For this reason, I even learned martial arts, practiced sanda and weapons. My love for weapons is different from others. Others like swords, but I like to play with guns. I always feel that swords are too small and not manly enough, while guns are more powerful. What I yearn for most is the days of traveling around the world with white horses and silver spears in ancient times. Now I go to work during the day, and I watch TV, anime, and movies in my rental house at night. Recently, I like to watch Douluo, which is so passionate. But as a person with some experience, when I watched the anime for the second time, I always felt that something was wrong with the plot. Then I went back to read the original work and read countless fanfictions, and then I found that there were so many loopholes in the original work. In an instant, my whole outlook on life collapsed. This day, I was really bored, so I watched a movie in the rental house. I was enjoying it, but suddenly there was a power outage. I couldn't help but curse in my heart. What's going on? Why is there always a power outage in this broken rental house? Is it tripped again? I opened the window and saw that the surrounding room seemed to have electricity. I took a broken stool and put it under my feet, then stood on the stool and took a closer look. Sure enough, it was tripped. I used my hand to pull up the switch, but a strong current came from the switch, and then I was instantly numbed by the electricity, and fell directly from the stool, and immediately lost consciousness. Then the whole person seemed to fall into endless darkness, and even felt a little difficult to breathe. Is he in the emergency room now? Suddenly, there was a burst of light in his eyes, and at the same time, there was a burst of noise. It's born, it's born, it's finally born. Then, it seemed that someone was holding him up, and his whole vision was spinning. Looking carefully, it turned out that the person holding him was an old man with a very resolute face and a very large scar on his face. Looking at this expression, it seemed a little familiar. Isn't this Yang Wudi in Douluo Continent? Looking at himself again, he was actually in Yang Wudi's arms. He tried to twist his head again, and then waved his hands and feet. Suddenly, he felt very weak. The whole hand was very small, like a baby's hands and feet. No, this is a baby's hand. He couldn't help thinking in his heart, what's going on? I was just electrocuted. How come I ran to the world of Douluo Continent? He tried to open his mouth and wanted to make a sound, but the only sound that came into his ears was a soft whimper, like crying. Then the world spun again, and he fell into sleep. After sleeping and waking up for many days, I finally realized that I might have traveled to Douluo Continent, and I am the grandson of Yang Wudi from the Po Hun clan in Douluo Continent. His name is Yang Podi. His father's name is Yang Zhenshin. And his mother's name is Niu Jinfeng, who seems to be from the Yu clan. Moreover, his mother is tall and strong, and her height and body shape are not much worse than his father. It is said that she is the daughter of Niu Gao, the patriarch of the Yu clan. The above content is just hearsay. After all, as a newborn baby, all I heard are just a few words. And at this moment, my most important task is to try to eat enough and grow up. The advantage of my mother's tall stature is that the granary is sufficient, so that I eat and sleep every day, and I am basically not affected by the outside world. Of course, it is impossible to influence the outside world. After all, a newborn baby can't speak, and the occasional sound is like crying. At this time, the Haotian Sect is the #1 sect in the world. The Po Hun clan is the head of the Haotian Sect's outer sect. At the same time, Yang Wudi is also the elder of the Haotian Sect's outer sect, which is considered to be a high position. As the only grandson, there was an endless stream of people coming to visit, and there were also various faces. Among them were Bai, the patriarch of the Min clan, Titan, the patriarch of the Li clan, and Niu Gao, the patriarch of the Yu clan. Niagao was also his own grandfather. Of course, he also met many people from the Haotian Sect, including Tang Xiao, Tang Hao, and Tang Hao's wife Yin. Just like in the anime, Tang Hao and Tang Xiao both looked very tall and burly, and their whole bodies seemed to be full of strength. Moreover, Tang Hao was not as decadent as Tang Hao in the Holy Soul Village period in the original work. On the contrary, he was slightly handsome. No wonder he could chase a beauty like Yin. Yin looked very gentle and beautiful, and even couldn't help hugging herself. Unfortunately, I was still a baby at this time, and I didn't feel anything. The only feeling was that Yin's body was very soft, as if it was full of vitality. And it seemed that Yin was not pregnant yet, at least it was safe in the short term. As for the future, I couldn't do anything with a baby. Just like this, I ate and slept continuously. After half a year, my throat seemed to grow slowly, and I could also start to call out the simplest dad, mom, and grandpa. After half a year, I was able to call people, which made the whole family very happy, especially my grandfather Yang Wudi, who would hold me in his arms and spin around, making me dizzy. And my grandfather never got tired of it. Of course, I also started trying to walk, but I could only take a few steps each time. I felt more at ease with my mother watching me. Since I was able to call people, I was also weaned. My mother Nia Jinfeng was quite resistant to this, and always felt that children should drink more milk to grow up quickly. But it was still quite disgusting for me. After all, in terms of the age of the soul, I was over 35 years old, and it was not a good thing to always hold my mother and drink breast milk. My father liked it very much. For this reason, he even got a lot of meat from small soul beasts and made meat soup for me every day. I don't know if he was happy for his son or for other things. The soul beast meat soup seemed to be extremely rich in energy. Every time I ate it, I always felt energetic and full of energy. No wonder the descendants of those wealthy families had much better foundations than ordinary people. The simplest soul beast meat alone was much more energetic than ordinary fruits and vegetables, not to mention that the big families also had their own training system. In this way, another half a year passed, and I could basically speak clearly and walk alone, and I walked quite smoothly. But my mother followed behind me, afraid that I would fall, like an old hen protecting her calves. Chapter 2 Timeline. Since I could speak, I like to ask my parents all kinds of questions, and I am particularly interested in their martial spirits. Dad Yang Zhenshin, martial spirit soul breaking spear, soul power level 71. Mom Niu Jinfeng, martial spirit plate armor giant rhino, soul power level 63. Grandpa Yang Wudi, martial spirit soul breaking spear, soul power level 77. Grandpa Yang Wudi's soul power is level 77? How is it possible? I remember that in the original book, Grandpa's soul power level was 82, but that was decades later, which means that Grandpa's soul power has not improved much over the years? Thinking of this, my head hurts. Obviously, the enemies outside are extremely strong. Why are they all a little bit unmotivated? And my father is like Grandpa, especially obsessed with refining medicine. For the two of them, refining medicine is more important than cultivation, especially as the elders of the outer sect of Haotian Sect. Basically few people dare to provoke their grandfather. In this way, I finally understood the current timeline at the age of 2. That day, Yang Podi was chatting with his parents, or it could be said that he was just a child asking random questions. Dad, Mom, is the Haotian Sect really that powerful now? Both parents were full of pride. Of course, our Haotian Sect is known as the #1 sect in the world. Yang Podi asked his father with a puzzled look on his face. Dad, since the Haotian Sect is the #1 sect in the world, they should have a lot of masters. That's natural. The previous leader of the Haotian Sect was a level 99 ultimate Douluo, invincible in the world. But Dad, didn't the old leader seem to have been missing for many years? Podi, you don't know this. It is said that the old leader was in seclusion practicing, so he handed over the position of leader to the current leader. Dad, how strong is the current leader? The current leader, Tang Zhen, is incredible. He is now a level 95 titled Douluo. Titled Douluo? What is a titled Douluo? Is he very powerful? That's natural. Titled Douluo are all very powerful. Each of them can overwhelm the world and be invincible in the world. Since Douluo is so powerful, does our Haotian Sect have many titled Douluo? Dad Yang Zhenshin smiled and said, Son, titled Douluo are so powerful, and naturally very rare. We have only 4 titled Douluo in the Haotian Sect. In addition to the new and old sect masters, only the first elder and the second elder are titled Douluo. At this time, Yang Podi was thinking secretly in his heart, 4 titled Douluo, excluding the old sect master Tang Chen? That means there are only 3 titled Douluo in the Haotian Sect, and the highest one is only level 95. This strength is too poor. He seemed to have thought of something important in his mind. Dad, I seem to have heard you talking about the Haotian twins. What are the Haotian twins, son? Where have you heard of the Haotian twins? Dad, I only heard people talk about it occasionally, so I'm a little curious. Hearing this, Yang Zhenshan was also envious. The Haotian twins that people outside are talking about should be your Uncle Tang Zhao and Uncle Tang Hao. They held you when you were just born. Dad, how are they now? Why are they called the Haotian twins? The 2 brothers Tang Zhao and Tang Hao are extremely talented. They have become famous throughout the continent at a young age. According to their talents and abilities, they will soon become titled Douluo, so people call them the Haotian twins. The most critical point of Yang Podi's question today finally came. Since both of them are so talented, how old are they now? Your Uncle Tang Zhao is 56 years old this year, and your Uncle Tang Hao is 41 years old this year. Both of them are sold Douluo now. Within 10 years, my Haotian Sect will be able to produce 2 more titled Douluo. Dad, are they both in the Haotian Sect now? Not really. When you were born 2 years ago and they came, Tang Zhao returned to the sect, and Tang Hao seemed to have gone out with his wife to train. Yang Podi chatted with his parents for a few more words, and then returned to his room alone. Although he was only 2 years old, he could already sleep alone. Of course, the sleeping room was also a small room separated from his parents' room. His mother would come to observe his sleep several times every night. After returning to the room, Yang Podi began to think alone. According to the time calculation, Tang Hao became a titled Douluo at the age of 44, which means that in 3 years, Tang San will be born, and in the same 3 years, the spirit hall Pope Kyank Sunji will be seriously injured by Tang Hao. In other words, in a little more than 3 years, at most 4 years, the Haotian Sect will have a war with the spirit hall. After the war, the Haotian Sect will retreat and abandon the 4 single-attribute families, which eventually led to heavy losses for the 4 single-attribute families and almost extinction. It is estimated that Tang Zhao broke through to the title Douluo in the past 2 years. Regarding cultivation, Yang Podi couldn't help but complain in his heart. His grandfather is already level 77, and he has a grudge against the extermination of his clan, but when he fought at Jialing Pass almost 28 years later, he was only level 82. Although fighting above his level seems exciting, what's the matter with this soul power improvement? Could it be that his grandfather's talent can only reach level 82? As for his parents, there are no such people in the original book. I wonder if they died in the War of Extermination? No matter from which aspect, Yang Podi felt that he was like a Cheyenne King's start. The War of Extermination was like a sharp sword, always hanging over his head. As for saying the following things in advance, I'm afraid that he will be sliced and studied as soon as he opens his mouth. Thinking of this, Yang Podi couldn't help but sigh at the talent of the Tang family. Tang San, not to mention, has twin martial spirits, is the son of luck, and has a perfect background. He is the father of the Haotian Sect, the teacher of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, the classmate of the daughter of the leader of the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect, and the comrade-in-arms and benefactor of the Prince of the Xingluo Empire. Moreover, his teacher was the old lover of the Pope of the Spirit Hall. No matter which big power, it would not easily touch him. Tang Zhao of the Haotian Sect was promoted from an ordinary title Douluo to level 97 Super Douluo in just 20 years. This speed is not slow. Don't you see that Bone Douluo has only been level 95 all his life, and the old dragon Yu Yuansun of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex has also been level 95 all his life? These 2 are much older than Tang Zhao, not to mention Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo. Tang Hao of the Haotian Sect is even more exaggerated. After absorbing his wife's spirit ring, he was decadent for 15 years, and he actually reached level 95. After losing 1 hand and 1 foot, he was able to quickly upgrade to level 96, and even the injuries on his body were healed. It can be said to be a wonder among wonders. Yang Podi couldn't help sighing when he thought of this. No matter what, he had to find a way to avoid the disaster of extermination. He was just a kid, even if he was the grandson of the clan leader. His status in the family was probably equal to 0. If his spirit didn't awaken after 3 years, No one would listen to him. After thinking about it, the only option is to hide and see if there is a way to avoid a genocide war 3 years later. Where to hide and future plans need to be carefully considered. After all, there will be wars one after another, especially there will be a soul hunting operation by the Spirit Hall more than 20 years later. If I am included in the list of soul hunting operations, it will be a pitfall. As for the Battle of Jialing Pass later, what does it have to do with me? Chapter 3 Training. Yang Podi carefully reviewed the original novel and always felt that the original novel was particularly pitfall. The Po clan had been pitted by the Haotian Sect more than 20 years ago, and almost exterminated. As a result, 20 years later, they were again tricked by Tang San to join the Tang Sect from beginning to end. Except for a fragrant kilo fairy product, it seemed that they got nothing else. On the contrary, after the family disciples joined the Tang Sect, they became the so-called children of the medicine hall, and they had an extra father for no reason. The other 3 clans seemed to be pitted even worse. They got nothing, but they kept working for the Tang Sect and Tang San. Why? Especially in the final battle of Jialing Pass, the clan leader Yang Wudi also fought against a titled Douluo Snake Spear. Although he won, he was also seriously injured. What help did all this bring to himself and his family? What help did Tang San bring to his family? Would Tang San pass on his Zuanshan Guang to others? Obviously, the 4 single attribute families are not proportional to their efforts and gains. If they have this kind of time, they might as well work hard to improve themselves. After thinking through all this, Yang Podi returned to his own problems. How to avoid the war of genocide. How to improve himself in the future. The following time was relatively simple. After 2 years old, under Yang Podi's repeated requests, his mother began to arrange for people to teach him to read and read. Although he had read the original Douluo Continent, when he really came to the world of Douluo Continent, everything was different from the original, and the difference was very large. The simplest knowledge problem: there are hundreds of books on soul beasts, large and small. The biggest feature of the Douluo world is the martial spirit and soul beast. There are many types of soul beasts, as small as a blade of grass, as big as a mountain, and they may be soul beasts. All kinds of soul beasts are different in size, diet, and even attack methods. In addition to the difference in the age of different soul beasts, there are more differences. On the other hand, there are martial spirits. There are all kinds of martial spirits in the world. Various martial spirits are matched with different soul beasts' soul rings, and even different soul ring ages, which will produce various skills and even mutations. Seeing this, I couldn't help but think of what Yu Zhigang taught Tang San. More rings mean more bones, and you can use your skills. Fewer rings mean less bones, and you can run away. Yang Podi was quite disdainful at first, always thinking that this was a bit of bullying, and who said that having more spirit rings means being strong. But as he read more and more books, he gradually understood the differences between spirit masters of different levels. Spirit masters may be able to fight each other across levels, just like his grandfather Yang Wudi. But this is for a very small number of people after all, and more people are ordinary spirit masters. It is difficult for them to even get spirit rings. Many people are confused about how to get spirit rings throughout their lives. Countless people have to absorb 10-year spirit rings in order to become spirit masters. As for spirit masters with a 1,000-year 5th ring, there are even more of them. In the original work, Snake Spear and Kinming both have a 1,000-year 5th spirit ring. Do they have no ability or no connections? Neither is true, because it is very difficult to get a spirit ring that suits you and has the right age. Especially the 5th spirit ring must be just over 10,000 years old, but not too much more. It is difficult to achieve without a big backer. Looking back at the various fanfictions of later generations, almost all of them are criticizing Yu Zhigang. Indeed, from a certain perspective, Yu Zhigang was sorry for the 2 women and was suspected of being a coward. However, from an academic point of view, he still made certain contributions. At least since he issued the so-called soul ring age table. Although it may not be completely accurate, it has been widely circulated among civilians, and to a certain extent reduced the phenomenon of soul masters absorbing soul rings that exceed the age limit and causing their bodies to explode. What makes people even more upset is that he is obviously just a great soul master, but he likes to show off. He has poor strength but a big arrogance. Especially the knowledge he published. In fact, many big families have it, but civilians cannot obtain it. And Yu Zhigang, combined the knowledge of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family with some of the knowledge learned in the Spirit Hall, and published it as his own thing, occupying the academic achievements of the Spirit Hall, which is a bit like the plagiarism that everyone hates the most in later generations. Moreover, Yu Zhigang is very repulsive and hates the Spirit Hall, but he lives on the gold soul coins issued by the Spirit Hall. He has an attitude of eating with a bowl in hand and cursing his mother when he puts down the bowl. What's even more exaggerated is that when he lived and not in college, he was not a teacher and had no contribution to the college, but he put on the airs of a teacher, and he looked a bit like a fox pretending to be powerful. All the above behaviors have caused Yu Zhigang to have a very bad reputation among his peers. When his grandfather Yang Wudi knew that he liked reading books very much, he got all kinds of books from nowhere, all kinds of books. There were even some interesting stories about Soul Master training and notes on high-level Soul Master training. Of course, this kind of reading lasted for a whole year. A year later, when he was 3 years old, his grandfather and father began to strictly demand himself. In addition to reading books, his daily routine has added the practice of gun skills and medicinal baths. The gun method mainly practices the soul-breaking gun method of the Po Yi clan. Although he sneers at the city-breaking gun method, he always feels that it is too simple and even a bit unpresentable compared to the gun method mastered by the Chinese in his previous life, but he still practices it in the short term. So every morning, he carried a heavy iron spear and followed a group of people to practice. He practiced until he was almost exhausted, and then he was caught by his mother to take a medicinal bath. As for the weight of the soul-breaking spear, there are all kinds of soul-breaking spears of different sizes on the training ground. They have the same appearance and structure, but they are different in size, weight, and material. Just choose the one that suits your height and strength every day. As for the medicinal bath, it has been started since the age of 3, which is also the basic habit of some big families. For some co-disciples, training starts from the age of 3 to 4. The Po Yi clan belongs to a family of alchemy. Their research on medicinal materials and prescriptions is far superior to others. Even the Haotian Sect uses the Po Yi clan's medicinal bath program. Grandpa Yang Wudi directly prepares medicine according to his own physique. After the age of 4, Yang Podi increased physical exercise. The training directions include frog jumps and running. Of course, because he is too young, he does not carry weights. In the past few years, Yang Podi has also come into contact with many people from the Haotian Sect. According to his own opinion, all the people from the Haotian Sect have a common characteristic, that is, arrogance, self-righteousness, and some even look down on everything. This attitude is more common in the Haotian Sect, and even the 4 families with single attributes have similar personalities. In a word, they look down on everyone in the world and always think that they are the strongest. Judging from this personality, if they were in a TV series in the future, they would probably not survive more than 2 episodes. No wonder the Spirit Hall must target the Haotian Sect. The current Haotian Sect can be said to be against the Spirit Hall everywhere, especially the 3 upper sects have united together, and many things do not give the Spirit Hall face at all. Anyone would want to destroy the Haotian Sect, and the so-called allies of the Haotian Sect are probably also trying to push the Haotian Sect out to block the knife. The strength of the Spirit Hall is not as strong as it will be 20 years later in the original book. The 3 upper sects have tens of thousands of soul masters, which is enough to compete with the Spirit Hall. Every time Yang Podi thinks of this, he can't help but sigh in his heart. Is there a reason for the decline of the Haotian Sect? On the one hand, there are too many enemies, and on the other hand, the reputation is too loud. However, only the core members know that the old leader has been missing for decades, and the current strength of Haotian Sect is completely unworthy of its reputation. Chapter 4 Evasion Plan. As time went by, Yang Podi was already 5 years old. During this period, he had discussed the issues of Haotian Sect with his parents and grandfather many times, including some hidden dangers of Haotian Sect, but the result was a scolding from the 3 of them. In their eyes, Haotian Sect was really like the sky. According to his grandfather Yang Wudi, the Po Yi clan was originally just a small clan. After following Haotian Sect, it gradually developed. Now the overall strength of the Po Yi clan has reached 700 people, and the number of direct disciples has reached 300. It can be said that in terms of the number of soul masters alone, it is already a medium-sized sect. During the soul hunting operation, the entire Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family only had 1,800 people. The Seven Treasures Glazed sect had reached its peak. It lost only 2,000 people in the soul hunting operation, but it also lost more than 2/3. In addition, 40% of the disciples who were working outside were surrounded and killed by the spirit hall. It is estimated that the entire Seven Treasures Glazed sect has only about 3,500 to 4,000 soul masters. Now the Haotian Sect is the strongest, and it is not known whether there are 5,000 soul masters. Of course, these major sects can become the top 3 sects mainly because they have title Douluo. Title Douluo is like a nuclear weapon in this period. Every time I finish talking to my parents, I feel that their faces have changed. It seems that I have to find a way myself. This day, Yang Podi stayed alone in his room. On the table is a large map of Douluo Continent. Looking at this map, he fell into deep thought. There are 3 circles drawn on the map, namely Xingluo City, Xiandao City and Hanhei City. With the current strength of the Spirit Hall, only these 3 places are relatively safe. Throughout the original work, the Power Clan suffered the least loss among the 4 single-attribute families. After the war, the number of survivors was twice that of the Destroying Clan. It is no wonder that Titan was still loyal to Tang Hao. If more than 2/3 of the Power Clan died, Titan would still be loyal. After a careful analysis of these 3 places, Xingluo City may be the safest. The Xingluo Empire is powerful, but the royal family is too powerful. The big sects basically do not develop in the Xingluo Empire. If the Destroying Clan goes to Xingluo City, they may become vassals of the Xingluo royal family. Hanhei City is too far away, and there is no big force to protect it. Moreover, it is dominated by sea soul masters. Whether the Destroying Clan can get used to it is still a question. The only advantage is that it is relatively free, but the risk factor is the highest. Xiandao City is relatively safe. The Xiandao royal family is relatively weak. If the Destroying Clan goes to Xiandao City to stay, I am afraid that the Xiandao royal family will not be able to welcome it. The disadvantage is that they will have to face Jinring Su and his 2 titled Douluo bodyguards in the future. After thinking it over and over again, Xiandao City is more suitable, not to mention that there is the opportunity he wants most. Although he has not awakened his martial soul yet, if his martial soul is too low in innate soul power, or his martial soul undergoes a malignant mutation, he can still change his fate there. The biggest problem now is how to get the family to go to Xiandao City. Even if the entire Po Yi family cannot go, at least some people should be arranged to go. Recently, Yang Podi has been running to his grandfather Yang Wudi's room every day, hoping to find some clues from his grandfather, but he has never gained anything. In the end, he had no choice but to find his grandfather Yang Wudi. Yang Wudi saw him coming and smiled. "Podi, how come you have time to come to me today? Why do you keep coming to me recently?" Hearing his grandfather's question, Yang Podi said with a serious face, "Grandpa, I have a very bad premonition recently. I am afraid that something big will happen to our Poi clan. Podi, have you been sick recently? How about Grandpa to help you take a look?" "Grandpa, I'm really not sick. I do think something big will happen. Podi, your mentality is wrong. As a member of our Poi clan, no matter what difficulties or enemies we encounter, we always take the lead and never retreat even if we die in battle." Hearing this, Yang Podi's face was full of worry and even a hint of despair. Looking at his grandfather's appearance, and even the appearance of the entire Poi clan, they are full of confidence in the Haotian Sect, and they are even willing to sacrifice their own lives. Yang Podi gritted his teeth. "No, I can't just sit there and wait for death. For the Poi clan and for myself, I must find a way. If it really doesn't work, even if I throw a tantrum and act like a rogue, I will ask my parents to take me to Xiandao City." Thinking of this, he went to find his mother Nia Jinfeng alone. Nia Jinfeng saw that Yang Podi's face looked a little abnormal, and hurriedly asked, "Podi, what's wrong with you? Why do you feel that your face is a little bit wrong?" Yang Podi said to his mother with a serious face, "Mom, do you believe me? Podi, what's wrong with you? Why are you so serious all of a sudden?" "Of course I believe you, Mom. I feel very uneasy recently. I always feel that something big will happen to our Poi clan. Why don't we go to Xiandao City to have a look? Podi, I think you are a little unwell. How about I ask your dad and your grandpa to help you?" "Mom, I'm telling the truth. Our family may really be in danger. We are a subsidiary clan of Haotian Sect. Haotian Sect is the #1 sect in the world. How can there be any danger? Let's do this, Podi. I will take you to Xiandao City to play in a while." Hearing this, Yang Podi had to return to his room with a disappointed face. It was obvious that his mother was fooling him, and no one believed that the Po Yi clan had encountered any difficulties. After all, the Haotian Sect was a deep-rooted clan, and everyone had been comfortable for too long and lacked a sense of crisis. Yang Podi thought of this and made up his mind. At worst, he could just leave. As long as he arrived in Xiandao City, his parents would definitely come to find him. By then, the family of 3 would be safe. As for the others, he couldn't care so much now. He couldn't die under the butcher's knife without awakening his martial soul. Would that make him the most miserable time traveler? He did it right away, packed up a few clothes he often wore, took a small bag, and then took a commonly used soul-breaking gun, and took a few more gold soul coins, and slipped out of the family directly through the back door. As soon as Yang Podi left the house, the news had already reached the ears of the clan leader, Grandpa Yang Wudi. At this time, in Yang Wudi's room, Grandpa Yang Wudi, second Grandpa Yang Washuang, Father Yang Zhenshan and Mother Nia Jinfeng were all together, and several elders of the family were masters of the Soul Saint level. When everyone heard that Yang Podi had slipped out of the house, they were all very surprised. Only Yang Wudi remained silent. Nia Jinfeng seemed a little anxious. Podi was quite obedient before. What happened this time? I'll go and bring him back. Before Nia Jinfeng walked out of the door, Yang Wudi spoke. Jinfeng, wait a moment. Nia Jinfeng turned around and looked at Yang Wudi with a puzzled look on her face. Yang Wudi thought for a moment and took out a piece of paper from his body. Chapter 5: The Future of the Po Yi Clan. Everyone at the scene looked at Yang Wudi with confusion. Yang Wudi said, "Everyone, don't worry, take a look at the latest news." Yang Washuang was the first to pick up the note. After taking a look, his eyes widened a little. Obviously, the content of the note was beyond his expectations. After a round of circulation, everyone else also saw the content of the note. Wuhan Hall Pope Kyank Sunji led Ju Douluo and Ghost Douluo out. Yang Wudi glanced at everyone. "This is the latest news I got, provided by spies inside the Spirit Hall. The Spirit Hall Pope Jin Zunji has led Ju Douluo and Ghost Douluo out of the Spirit City. What is the specific purpose? No one knows now. You should also know that the conflict between us and the Spirit Hall has intensified in recent years, and we may fight at any time. This time Podi feels uneasy. In fact, I also feel something is wrong and feel a little uneasy, whether it is fighting or dying in battle. I, Yang Wudi, am not afraid, and even my entire Po Yi clan is not afraid, but Podi is a child after all, and he doesn't understand anything. So just let him go to Xiandao City to play." At this time Yang Washuang spoke. "Brother, what do you mean? I don't mean anything. We the older generation can die, but the young people in our family are too young. We have to leave some hope for the family. Brother, what arrangements do you have?" "Washuang, this time you will lead the team yourself, lead Henshin and Jinfeng, and take all the children under 12 years old of the family to Xiandao City for fun. Remember, if this storm does not stop, you should not come back, but, big brother, if something really happens, you will be the only one at home. Washuang, don't worry, I'm not old yet, I can still hold on to the family. You are the key, you are the hope of our Po Yi clan." After hearing this, everyone around fell into silence. Finally, Yang Washuang nodded heavily. "Big brother, don't worry, I will definitely take care of these children." After Yang Podi slipped out of the house, before he had time to find a carriage to the direction of Xiandao City, he was grabbed by his mother Nia Jinfeng by the neck and held. Seeing his tall mother, Yang Podi immediately started acting like a child. "Mom, why are you here? You're not going to take me home, are you?" Nia Jinfeng seemed a little unhappy. "You little rascal, didn't I say I would take you to Xiandao City to play in a few days? How dare you sneak out alone? I'm afraid you won't take me with you. Forget it, I won't hit you this time. Let's go home first and go together tomorrow." "Go together? Mom, what does this mean? Anyone else wants to go with us?" Nia Jinfeng looked at Yang Podi meaningfully. "Your grandfather just said that since we are going out for fun, we can't be too partial. So your second grandfather will take all the children in our clan to play together, so we can feel more at ease." Yang Podi was very surprised to hear this. Grandpa said that let all the children go out to play together? What does Grandpa mean? What can it mean? Why do you think so much, kid? In this way, Yang Podi was taken back to the Po Yi clan by his mother Nia Jinfeng. After returning home, Yang Podi carefully thought about his grandfather's decision today. Could it be that his grandfather also felt something was wrong, or felt the danger, so he let all the children in the family go to Xiandao City for refuge? Or did his grandfather receive some news? Early the next morning, Yang Podi was woken up. He came to the yard, which actually included all the children under the age of 12. There were a total of 40 or 50 children. Specifically, the second grandfather Yang Wudi led the team. Among the adults, there were 10 people besides the second grandfather Yang Wudi, including his father Yang Zhenshan and mother Nia Jinfen, and several people holding children. The others were the mothers of some children. Many children were very happy to hear that they were going to Xiandao City to play, and even a few younger children kept humming and humming, which was obviously quite excited. After all, going out to play is also a happy thing, and it is to go to one of the most prosperous cities on the mainland, Xiandao City. In this way, under the arrangement of everyone, the children entered the carriage parked at the door. There were a total of 9 carriages parked at the door. 1 or 2 adults and a few children were arranged on each carriage. Yang Podi followed his father, mother, and a few children into the last carriage, obviously wanting his father to cover the rear and take care of the entire team. Deputy clan leader Yang Wudi was in the front carriage. With a command, all the carriages set off in the direction of Xiandao City. After the carriages set off, Yang Podi looked at the Poi clan's residence that was gradually moving away, and thought to himself, I hope the Poi clan can escape this crisis. Without the burden of us children, the family should be able to have fewer deaths. I hope that after the war really breaks out, Grandpa can lead the clan to Xiandao City. After all, Xiandao City is one of the relatively safe places. At the same time, Yang Wudi and all the elders watched the carriage team leave in the room, with a solemn look and a hint of comfort. Everyone seemed to be relieved. After all, those who left were their own nephews and descendants. When the convoy completely disappeared, Yang Wudi turned his head and looked at the elders. Elders, from now on we must pay attention to the gathering of information and the martial law of the family members. Although we don't know what will happen, it must be a big deal. It is even related to the life and death of our Po Yu clan, as the patriarch of the Po Yu clan and also the elder of the outer sect of Haotian Sect. Yang Wudi has a lot of experience in dealing with things, and he is definitely not lacking in means and courage. At his command, the family became tense. At the same time, Yang Wudi brought a note to a gathering place. Soon, the patriarch of the Power Clan, Titan, the patriarch of the Control Clan, Niu Gao, and the patriarch of the Min Clan, Bai, all came here. Of course, after seeing Yang Wudi's note, the 3 did not seem to be surprised. Niu Gao spoke directly, Old Goat, what's wrong with you? Why do you seem suspicious? And why did you arrange for all the children in the family to go to Xiandao City for fun? Yang Wudi shook his head. Nothing, I've just been a little uneasy recently, and my eldest grandson kept clamoring to go to Xiandao City, so I just arranged for all the children in the family to go there together. Oh, Old Goat, is it my little grandson who wants to go there? If I had known, I would have gone with him. At this time, Bei also spoke. You old rhinoceros, there are so many things in the sect now. How can you have time to play, Bei? As the uncle of the 2 brothers Tang Hao and Tang Xiao, can be said to be the number 1 in-law of the Haotian Sect, and he is in the limelight at this time. It was Titan who spoke. It's true that I'm a little busy recently. I really want to go there for fun when I have time. Obviously, the patriarchs of the other 3 tribes also received similar news, but the 3 of them didn't care at all. Yang Wudi also shook his head alone, hoping that he was worrying too much. Chapter 6 Entering Xiandao City. Xiandao City is several hundred kilometers away from the residence of the Po Yi clan. For a high-level soul master, it may only take half a day to get there. But for a group of little kids sitting in a carriage, it takes 3 days to reach Xiandao City. Many children have never left the residence of the Po Yi clan since they were born, and they are full of curiosity when they go out for the first time. Whether it is the flowers, plants, trees or passing carriages outside, they are full of curiosity and joy. Sometimes they will encounter some small soul beasts on the road, and everyone is more curious about these soul beasts. After all, they are all children. After seeing those small soul beasts, they are like seeing pets. At night, all the carriages are surrounded together, and a large tent is built in the middle. Everyone rests together, and my father and second grandfather take turns to keep watch to prevent any danger. Looking at the nervous look of the 2 of them, it seems that they will encounter some big enemy. After 3 days of traveling, The group finally arrived at Xiandao City. Looking at the tall Xiandao City wall, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. After 3 consecutive days of rushing, all the children seemed a little tired. After all, they were all children. When they arrived at the city gate, the guards saw as many as 9 carriages, and there were so many children, they were a little afraid that this was a large-scale human trafficker. But when the guards saw the token of the outer sect of the Haotian Sect and Yang Wushuang's soul power of the Soul Saint level, they immediately let the group pass. After entering Xiandao City, the carriages did not go straight to a hotel, but turned east and west until they drove to a certain courtyard. Yang Podi was a little surprised. "Dad, Mom, aren't we staying in a hotel?" Mom smiled when she heard this. "Son, who told you that we are staying in a hotel? Our Poi clan is at least the first clan of the outer sect of the Haotian Sect, and our medicine refining is also world famous, so we still have some industries in various cities. Even in Xiandao City, we have several houses." Yang Podi was speechless. It turns out that big families play like this, and they even started real estate. In the original novel, the Haotian Sect hid for 25 years, and its strength not only did not decrease, but increased significantly. However, it also survived in this way. It is impossible for the people of the Haotian Sect to farm by themselves. Suddenly thought of something? He hurriedly asked his mother, "Mom, have we bought a house in Xiandao City?" The result was a roll of his eyes from his mother. "Son, what are you thinking about? Don't you see who your mother is? Do you need to buy a house?" Yang Podi suddenly felt annoyed. His mother is the sole emperor of the Yu clan. If she wants a house, isn't it just a matter of getting a piece of land and getting it done in minutes? There is no real estate in Douluo Continent, let alone rising house prices. "Mom, I see that you and Dad are not young anymore, so don't you prepare any family property." After hearing this, his mother Nia Jinfeng said earnestly, "Son, don't worry. When you grow up, your father and I will definitely prepare a generous gift for you to ensure that you get married in style." Yang Podi was speechless again. Is this what I am talking about? Is it necessary to say this? Don't I just want to know how much savings you have? The old man next to him, Yang Zhenshin, seemed to be trying hard to hold back the smile on his face. After the carriage drove through Xiandao City for more than 10 minutes, it finally arrived in front of a large courtyard. Although the courtyard was a bit old, it was relatively clean. Obviously, someone cleaned it regularly. After a while of arrangements, everyone was arranged to move into the house. However, due to the limited number of houses, many of them were multi-person rooms. However, considering that most of the people on this trip were children, they could still barely live there. And looking at the second grandfather, it seemed that he had some plans. After dinner, Yang Podi returned to his room alone, lay on the bed and began to think. The first small task had been completed. He and his parents had already arrived in Xiandao City. There should be no danger to their lives in the short term. The next thing was to wait for the Haotian Sect. Once Tang Hao injured Pope Kyank Sunji, it basically meant that Kyank Sunji was about to die, and it also meant that the war was about to break out. As for the Poi clan, he was powerless. I can only hope that my grandfather and his men can minimize the losses, and that they can come to Xiandao City as soon as possible after the war, so that the impact after the war can be reduced, and the subsequent development will not be constrained by the Spirit Hall. Next, we will start the second goal. After the Spirit awakens next year, we will consider the Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire, which is the place that can really change the fate of the Poi clan. According to the original work, Du Guyan should be about the same age as himself, and Du Guyan's parents died of poisoning. We can judge whether Du Gubo has occupied the Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire by whether Du Guyan's parents are dead now. If Du Gubo has not occupied it, then we will occupy it first. If Du Gubo has occupied the Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire, we have to think of other ways. It can also be judged by whether Du Gubo has become a title Douluo. If Du Gubo is already a title Douluo, it means that he has occupied the Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire, and we need to plan for the long term. Thinking about it, Yang Podi fell into deep sleep. Perhaps there was no threat of life-threatening danger, and this time he slept particularly well and deeply. Niu Jinfeng and Yang Zhenshin came into the room and saw their son falling asleep. As soon as Yang Zhenshin started to speak, Niu Jinfeng interrupted him. Then Niu Jinfeng quietly came to Yang Podi, touched his sleeping face, helped cover him with a quilt, and quietly left the room, calling her husband. "Husband, have you noticed that our son slept particularly soundly today?" Yang Zhenshin shook his head. "No, Why didn't I feel it? Niu Jinfeng kept complaining. What do you know? In the past, when my son was sleeping, his brows were always a little furrowed, as if he was afraid of something, and he was very vigilant. Now that he has come to Xiandao City, he seems to be completely relaxed, so he sleeps more soundly. Wife, no way? Logically speaking, our family is quite powerful. What can our son worry about? Just like this time, I always feel that my son is making a fuss. Niu Jinfeng was a little angry. You can't even feel the changes in your son's sleep. How can you be his father? Since my son thinks Xiandao City is good, we might as well live in Xiandao City in the future. So that my son won't be always worried. Wife, this is not good. After all, I am the young patriarch of the Poi clan. What's the big deal about leaving the family and living in Xiandao City for a long time? Who cares if you are the young patriarch or something else? Nothing is more important than my son. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Seeing that Niu Jinfeng was really a little angry, Yang Zhenshan quickly began to coax his wife. Don't be angry, my wife. Since our son wants to live in Xiandao City, I will find a way. Chapter 7 Tour of Xiandao City. Since there were too many children in the group and it was difficult to manage them, every time, Dad Yang Zhenshan and 5 adults would take a small number of children out to play, about 10 at a time, and the rest would stay in the yard, guarded by second grandfather Yang Wudi himself. I don't know who bought a lot of materials for building houses from outside. It seems that they plan to build a few more houses around. It is said that the Po Yi clan has several properties in Xiandao City, but second grandfather has no intention of arranging people to go to other places. After noticing this, Yang Podi began to understand that this time the family might have specially arranged for the younger generation to take refuge in Xiandao City. Did grandfather also receive any news? The following days were like returning to the Po Yi clan. Every morning, second grandfather Yang Wudi personally led everyone to practice the soul-breaking spear technique. Second grandfather seemed to be stimulated by something. He was very strict with everyone, making many people miserable. Of course, everyone was very excited about going out to play, and they all looked forward to their turn to go out to play, so they practiced more diligently, all with the mentality of children. Yesterday, it was finally his turn to go out for fun. Yang Podi was particularly interested in Xiandao City, the largest city in the world. Unlike other people who went out for fun in a group, this time, his mother Niu Jinfeng took him out alone, which made his father next to him look resentful. Others went out for fun as a family of 3, but why was it that his wife and son went out for fun? He became the babysitter of other children? Yang Podi and his mother Niu Jinfeng didn't care so much, and both went out happily. Mom, did you often come to Xiandao City to play? Niu Jinfeng said proudly. Of course, don't you see who your mother is? Your mother is a powerful soul emperor, and she was also a great beauty in the past. In order to pursue me, your father brought me to Xiandao City many times. Mom, you are also a great beauty now. Not bad, my son is still more obedient. Today, I will take you to appreciate the characteristics of Xiandao City. Niu Jinfeng seemed a little overjoyed when she heard this. Mom, what's so fun about Xiandao City? I feel like there's nothing interesting these days. Son, you're still young and don't understand what's fun about Xiandao City. Seeing Yang Podi's puzzled look, Niu Jinfeng continued, Xiandao City is the capital of the Xiandao Empire and the core area of the Xiandao Empire. It is said that the population exceeds 10 million, which makes Xiandao City particularly prosperous. In the entire Xiandao City, there are 3 things that are particularly fun. The first is the Xiandao Great Soul Fighting Arena, which is where soul masters from the Douluo Continent compete. It is also the only place where non-soul masters can watch soul masters fight. Soul fighting is divided into 3 categories. One is gambling, which means mutual learning, and it is forbidden to kill people. The other is a life and death fight, which is used to resolve irreconcilable disputes. The last one is a gambling fight. After the 2 parties in the gambling fight agree on the details, the soul fighting arena arranges a referee to conduct the soul fighting. The Xiandao Soul Fighting Arena is the highest level of all soul fighting arenas, and can support battles at the highest level of soul emperors. The battle scene is very lively and exciting. Mom will take you to the scene to see it in the evening. The second one is the Xiandao Auction House. The Xiandao Auction House is the largest auction house in the Xiandao Empire. There are many very valuable items for auction, sometimes even some priceless soul bones. Even if you don't attend the auction, It can still be eye-opening. Or the prosperity of Xiandao City? Yang Podi asked, a little puzzled. What's so fun about the prosperity of Xiandao City? What do you know, kid? Prosperity means shopping and food. In Xiandao City, if you want to buy anything, you can basically find it, even some rare soul guides, even soul bones. At the same time, the food in Xiandao City is also famous throughout the country. No matter what food you want to eat, you can find it in Xiandao City, and it tastes very good. Yang Podi couldn't help complaining in his heart. No matter which world, shopping and food have a fatal attraction to women. Next, Niu Jinfeng took Yang Podi to go shopping crazily. Niu Jinfeng was like a shopping maniac. As long as she saw something she liked, she would buy it directly. From various styles of clothes to various jewelry. As long as I see something I like, I will buy it directly. The gold soul coins that are very precious to ordinary people are nothing in the eyes of high-level soul masters, especially my mother who was born in a big family. Of course, my mother also bought a lot of clothes, toys and the like for Yang Podi, and even bought various styles of small armor, which made Yang Podi speechless. The whole afternoon was spent shopping. It was obvious that my mother was familiar with Xiandao City and even bought some relatively scarce things. For dinner, I didn't go home, but went to the largest hotel nearby. It is worthy of being the largest hotel in Xiandao City. Whether it is viewed from the outside or the decoration inside, it is very luxurious. Many places are decorated with gold or jade. There are even many expensive orchids in the whole hall. Although many people are eating, it does not seem noisy. On the contrary, it seems more elegant. It can be seen that those who enter this kind of big hotel to eat are basically some nobles or relatively elegant people, or some soul masters. Niu Jinfeng took me directly to a private room. Yang Podi took a look at the menu and couldn't help swallowing his saliva. It is worthy of being the largest hotel in Xiandao City. The price of food is also very touching. According to estimates, any dish would cost tens or hundreds of gold coins, which is equivalent to the lifetime expenses of ordinary civilians. As for the expensive soul beast meat, it is even more outrageous. It seems that considering that Yang Podi is still relatively young, he did not order some rare soul beast meat, but some ordinary dishes. Looking at the various dishes full of fragrance on the table, Yang Podi swallowed his saliva and finally turned into a glutton, eating without caring about his image. His mother was relatively conservative when eating. After Yang Podi's big meal, his stomach was a little bloated, so he had to drink some tea to digest the food. Although the food at Xiandao Hotel is expensive, the taste is really good, worthy of its price. No wonder the business is so hot. Mom, are we going back now? Where are we going now? You know, Xiandao City is most fun at night. Let's go to the Xiandao auction venue first. After the auction, we should be able to go to the Grand Fighting Soul Arena to watch the Fighting Soul competition, but I guess we can only watch the last 1 or 2 Fighting Soul matches. Yang Podi only understood through this that the Xiandao City auction and the Xiandao Grand Fighting Soul Arena basically start at the same time in the evening, but the auction time will be relatively shorter, while the Fighting Souls in the Fighting Soul Arena are more compactly arranged, with more Fighting Soul matches, and many times they will last until midnight. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8 Xiandao Auction. After dinner, Niu Jinfeng led Yang Podi to the Xiandao auction house. When they first arrived at the auction house, they saw a huge circular building, which looked a bit like the side of a large sports meeting in later generations. The auction house was nearly 500 meters in diameter, and the highest point was over 80 meters. The whole building was wide, and it looked gorgeous yet solemn. Standing at the door of the auction house were 4 beautiful girls. These 4 girls had beautiful faces and tall figures. They were all 1.75 meters tall and wore long skirts, showing their exquisite curves. Judging from their face shapes, they were all under 20 years old. Their movements were very capable but elegant, and they were obviously trained for a long time. One of the girls walked towards Yang Podi and the other 2, and bowed slightly. Do you need any help? A black card appeared in Niu Jinfeng's hand, and she handed the card to the girl who came. There was a picture of the auction on the card. The girl took the card and looked at it carefully, then immediately handed it back to Niu Jinfeng. Dear black card member, Welcome to our auction house. Should we go to the lobby or go directly to the private room? Go to the private room. Arrange a private room for me, okay, distinguished black card member. Please follow me. Without saying a word, the girl led Nia Jinfeng and Yang Podi into the auction house. Walking into the auction house, there was no sense of splendor. The floor was milky white marble, and the surrounding walls were decorated with various reliefs, with few colors on the reliefs. It looked simple and bright, extremely elegant, and also showed the grade of the auction house. The girl who led the way was very professional. She would stop every 10 steps or so, make a gesture of invitation, and accurately guide a direction. Of course, there were many guards along the way, probably to maintain order at the scene and to prevent fighting or robbery. Soon the three of them came to a private room, and the girl said, "The most distinguished black card members, this is the private room. Please wait a moment, the auction will start soon." As Niu Jinfeng nodded, the girl left the room. Yang Podi looked at the room carefully. The interior decoration of the room was very simple. There were only 8 seats. There was glass in front of each seat, facing the center of the auction hall, and the whole venue could be seen clearly. Obviously, these glasses were one-sided, and the situation in the room could not be observed from the outside. Looking out from the room, the entire auction venue is divided into 5 parts. The 3 rows of areas closest to the stage were red, radiating outwards, black, purple, yellow and white in turn. Each area was divided into private rooms and seats, probably according to personal preference. Soon a waiter knocked on the door, and a beautiful waiter came in. The beautiful waiter served tea and snacks to the 2. Through Yang Podi's observation, all the waiters in the auction hall are women. They are about the same height as the 4 people at the door, but they have hotter bodies and are dressed more exposed. Whether it is the chest or the skirt, they are all vaguely revealing. "Mom, how come you have a black card for the auction house?" "Son, who am I? How can I not even have a black card? It's just that I haven't come here much recently, so I didn't apply for a red card." "Your grandfather even has a red card." Yang Podi ignored his mother's words, but carefully observed the entire venue. Those beautiful waiters were just as Ning Fengzi said in the original book, with a dull expression, and even a little wooden eyes. According to Ning Fengzi himself, these beauties have lost their souls and can only be manipulated by others. When Yang Podi heard these words for the first time in his previous life, although he thought it was reasonable, he always felt that something was wrong. The second time he heard it, he felt that this was completely a fallacy. If a person doesn't even have a body, let alone a soul, although these people are wooden now, if they are taken back and trained, who dares to say that they can't return to normal? What they lack is hope and freedom. Soon the auction officially began. The host of the auction was a sexy beauty in a red dress. She was extremely beautiful in height, appearance and figure. She was even more eloquent. Her ability to sensationalize and control the situation was much stronger than those so-called excellent hosts I had seen in my previous life. As the auction gradually began, one by one, the auction items appeared on the central auction table. At the same time, the large screen at the top also magnified the entire auction item, allowing everyone on the scene to clearly see the auction item from all angles. The host introduced the origin, function and value of the auction item in detail, even with some sensational words, and then gave a starting price. Everyone on the scene bid according to their understanding of the product. In short, the whole scene was very noisy. Some people were discussing the actual value of the product, some regretted that they brought too few gold soul coins, and more people were discussing the transaction price of the auction item. The products for the meeting were all-encompassing, with varying values. The cheap ones included ancient swords and antiques, while the expensive ones included soul guides or high-year medicinal herbs. There was even a cat-ear girl auction off like in the original novel, and of course there were some precious metals. Suddenly, a very interesting thing appeared. The red-dressed beauty began to introduce the product. "Dear guests, the next item to be auctioned is a very rare treasure." A fist-sized black object was displayed on the auction plate, with fine lines on the black object, like a gelatin. As you can see, the item for auction is a piece of whale glue, and it is a piece of 10,000-year-old whale glue. For men who need it, it is a great tonic and can also help men regain their masculinity. As these words came out, many men at the scene became excited. "Dear guests, this piece of 10,000-year-old whale glue starts at 10,000 gold soul coins, 11,000 gold soul coins, 12,000 gold soul coins. Soon the price of this piece of whale glue reached 30,000 gold soul coins. Ah, take a picture of this whale glue. Niu Jinfeng looked at Yang Podi with a puzzled look on her face. How can you, a little kid, know what whale glue is used for? Mom, I've read a lot of books recently. Whale glue may have other uses. You buy it back from my dad. It will definitely be very useful. Although Niu Jinfeng hesitated for a moment, she couldn't resist her son's request in the end and directly auctioned the whale glue for 50,000 gold soul coins. The scene also fell into silence. This seemed to be the first time that a woman auctioned whale glue. Could it be that her husband was not capable? Niu Jinfeng was also speechless. A woman like her brought her son to auction whale glue. What kind of thing was this? If other people knew about it, they would be laughed to death. Chapter 9, Shy and Out Great Fighting Spirit Arena. After the auction of the whale glue, the auction continued. There were still so many things to take care of, and there were even many things that Yang Podi was very interested in, but there was nothing he could do. He was too young to use them after the auction, and he had no money on him. Finally, at the last moment of the auction, the finale item of the auction was the finale item. Unexpectedly, the finale item turned out to be a 1,000-year-old soul bone. Although Yang Podi looked down on the 1,000-year-old soul bone, the scene was in a hot mood. The host introduced with charm, "Dear guests, as you can see, today's finale item is a 1,000-year-old iron-armored bear right arm soul bone. The iron-armored bear is very strong in strength and defense. It is very suitable for power-type soul masters and can be called a priceless treasure." Yang Podi looked at the red soul bone shining on the big screen, and a trace of desire actually arose in his heart. Soul bones are indeed of great value to soul masters. It is not just as simple as providing a soul skill, but more importantly, it improves physical fitness and even the speed of soul masters' soul power. No wonder it is called the treasure of the blood river. But his mother Niu Jinfeng didn't react at all when she looked at this soul bone. "Mom, this is a soul bone, don't you feel moved at all?" Niu Jinfeng was full of disdain. The value of a 1,000-year soul bone is really too low. Look at this soul bone, it is estimated to be just over 1,000 years old, less than 2,000 years old, and it is basically useless to me. Your mother, looking at her son's puzzled expression, "Son, remember, for a soul master, you must consider your own strength and upper limit, otherwise the soul bone will have no meaning. No matter how good a 1,000-year level soul bone is, it is only useful to soul masters at the soul saint level and below. This soul bone, which has just passed 1,000 years, will no longer have any effect after the soul king level, and may even become a burden. Think about it, your mother's third soul skill is already stronger than the skill of this soul bone, so what use is it to me? It is still useful for some soul masters whose potential has reached the limit and cannot make any more progress in their lifetime. Your mother's potential is far from reaching the limit. Mom, does our family have this kind of soul bone? Of course there are, but this level of soul bone is too low for our Po Yi clan. Those with slightly higher talent disdain to absorb it. We can only treat it as a collection or give it to some soul masters who have been stuck in a bottleneck for a long time." Hearing this, Yang Podi fell into deep thought. This level of soul bone is indeed a bit tasteless for a soul master family, not to mention a soul master family as powerful as the Po Yi clan. After the Haotian Sect was in power, it was estimated that it also used similar background. The Haotian Sect has been the world's #1 sect for a long time, so the similar background must be very terrifying. There were cheers and climaxes in the auction venue. In the end, this 1,000-year soul bone was sold for 500,000 gold soul coins, which surprised Yang Podi. "Mom, didn't you say that this soul bone is not valuable? Why are they willing to spend so many gold soul coins to buy it?" "Son, you are still too young, and you don't understand some things. The more precious things in this world are, the more likely they are in the hands of some powerful forces. Believe it or not, if you take this 1,000-year soul bone to the Haotian Sect, the elders of the Haotian Sect may not even look at it. But for some civilians or ordinary people, this soul bone is very rare." Yang Podi glanced at the excited people on the scene, especially the one who got the soul bone, and couldn't help sighing in his heart. Is this the gap in this world? In the fantasy world, the gap between people is really greater than the gap between people and dogs. After the auction, Niu Jinfeng brought her son to the backstage of the auction. After confirmation by several on-site staff, he got the whale glue from the auction. After some inspection, he confirmed that it was correct, took out the gold soul coin card, Swipe 50,000 gold coins to the on-site staff, and then left directly. It must be said that the quality of the people in the auction house is quite high. Even Niu Jinfeng, a woman, brought her son to buy whale glue, and there was no surprise. After leaving the auction house, the two went directly to the Xiandao City Great Soul Fighting Arena. The scale of the Great Soul Fighting Arena is obviously much larger than the auction house. The length and width have reached several thousand meters. There seems to be no restrictions on the entry and exit of people, and no membership card is required. However, the internal guards are also stricter. After all, the Soul Fighting Arena corresponds to Soul Masters. Niu Jinfeng went straight to the front desk and took out a black membership card. Are there any soul fighting games that have not started yet? The waitress saw the black card in Niu Jinfeng's hand and said very respectfully, "Dear black card member, there are 4 soul fighting games today. 1 1-on-1 with Soul Sect, 1 1-on-1 with Soul Lord, 2-on-2 with Soul Lord and 1 1-on-1 with Soul King. All 4 games are soul fighting games." Niu Jinfeng thought for a moment. "Please arrange the 1-on-1 soul fighting game for me. I need a private room." "Okay, Mom. This soul fighting game is in Soul Fighting Arena number 2, and there is a private room. I will arrange it for you right away." After a while, the private room was arranged. After Niu Jinfeng paid the money, she took the number plate of the private room and left directly with her son. Obviously, the Soul Fighting Arena accepted too many people, and there was no staff to pick up and drop off. "Mom, what is the number 2 Fighting Soul Arena in the Fighting Soul Arena? Are there many Fighting Soul Arenas in it, son?" "Of course there are many Fighting Soul Arenas in the Fighting Soul Arena, and each Fighting Soul Arena is of different sizes. It seems that there are more than 10 Fighting Soul Arenas in total. Number 1 Fighting Soul Arena is the main Fighting Soul Arena, where some Soul Emperor level Fighting Souls or Team Fighting Souls are usually carried out." "Mom, I just saw a lot of people walking around next to the front desk. What are they doing?" "That's the gambling fight in the Fighting Soul Arena. Everyone can bet on the game they like. There will be certain odds for each gambling fight. If you win, you can receive the corresponding money according to the odds. Then if you fight your own soul, can you buy your own win or loss?" Niu Jinfeng knocked on Yang Podi's little head. "Son, according to the rules of the Fighting Soul Arena, theoretically you can't buy your own fighting soul in the competition, but if you only buy yourself to win, the Fighting Soul Arena generally will not restrict it, but you can't buy your own fighting soul to lose. But there are loopholes in this way, son. You underestimate this Fighting Soul Arena. The Fighting Soul Arena has very strict control over winning and losing in the competition, and it has a very powerful background. No one dares to deliberately bet on themselves to lose to make money." "Mom, is the background of the Fighting Soul Arena really that powerful? Is it more powerful than our Haotian Sect?" "Son, what are you thinking about? How can there be a force more powerful than our Haotian Sect? However, all the major forces in the entire Douluo Continent are related to the Fighting Soul Arena, just like the Haotian Sect also has a certain share. Therefore, the Fighting Soul competition in the Fighting Soul Arena is relatively fair, and no one dares to offend these major forces at the same time." After saying these words, the two came to the door of the private room, showed their number tags to the guard, and then entered the room. Chapter 10 Fighting Spirit Competition. The private room is a bit similar to the auction venue, and the interior is relatively simple. But the visual effect is better than the auction venue, and it is quite close to the central fighting arena. In the center is a fighting arena that is more than 100 meters long and wide. The entire ground is made of metal and looks very hard. The edge is blocked by railings, which is a bit similar to the boxing ring in the previous life, but the area is much larger than the boxing ring. Compared with the auction venue, the big fighting arena is obviously more noisy. Many people are arguing, and many people are even holding banners, or holding fluorescent sticks, signs and the like. As the game approaches, more and more people are on the scene, and finally the entire fighting arena is crowded with people, and there are basically no empty seats. As the host began to speak, "Dear audience, today's competition is about to begin. Both contestants are invited to enter the venue. The two contestants this time are the level 56 Earth Overlord contestant and the level 57 King of Strength contestant. The Earth Overlord contestant spirit is Earth Bull, and he is a strong attack type Battle Soul King. He has 2 yellow and 3 purple spirit rings. So far, he has 76 wins and 24 losses. The King of Strength contestant spirit is Orangutan, and he is a strong attack type Battle Soul King. He has 2 yellow and 3 purple spirit rings. So far, he has 46 wins and 17 losses. Both of them have a very high winning rate in the fighting spirit field. They are also the star players of our Xiandao City Continental Plaza. Today's battle will definitely be very intense. Then the specific information of the two people was displayed on the big screen, but both people on the field were wearing masks. Mom, why are their fifth soul rings purple? Son, every soul ring is an opportunity for a soul master. The age of the fifth soul ring should normally be within 12,000 years. This range is difficult to grasp, and soul beasts are relatively rare. A soul beast that has just passed 10,000 years normally needs a soul emperor level strongman to defeat it, and there are all kinds of dangers in the forest, so if you want a 10,000 year soul ring, you need the help of at least a high level soul emperor or soul saint level person. Ordinary people can't get such resources. Don't underestimate these two soul masters. Although they are only soul kings, their first 4 soul rings are the best configuration, which shows that these two people also have a certain background, but the background is not strong enough. Hearing these words from his mother, Yang Podi also began to watch this soul fight seriously. The host on the field continued to speak. Now is 1 minute to prepare. Please prepare for the competition and start summoning martial spirits. Sure enough, after hearing these words, the two people on the ring began to summon martial spirits. The person on the left summoned a huge wild bull, which looked ferocious, especially the pair of horns that seemed to be shining coldly. The person on the right summoned a gorilla. The gorilla was large and covered with muscles. It was very powerful. From the appearance of the gorilla and the bull, it was obvious that both of them were power-type soul masters. 1 minute later, the referee spoke again. The preparation time is over, and the game begins. The whole audience was boiling. Everyone seemed to be cheering and shouting the nicknames of the two soul masters. This scene was 100 times more lively than the concerts of those stars in the previous life. The two people in the fighting soul field also began to rush towards each other. After all, both of them were strong attacking soul masters and their speed was slow. Yang Podi looked at the fighting souls of the two people carefully. Both of them were obviously experienced in combat, with various combat skills emerging one after another, and they released their own soul skills. But compared with the combat skills and soul skills of the two people, it was more of a collision of strength, which was relatively simple and rough. In other words, in terms of martial arts skills, the combat skills of these two soul kings might not be as good as that of the layman who studied martial arts in his previous life. From the perspective of the martial arts student in his previous life, it was like two reckless men competing in strength. His mother was also a little excited, and she looked like she couldn't help but go up and fight. In the end, the battle was won by the Earth Overlord, but both of them were obviously in a bad state, with scars all over their bodies. What disappointed Yang Podi was why the two of them shouted out the number of soul skills before releasing their soul skills, as if all soul masters on Douluo Continent had this characteristic. Yang Podi asked his mother with some doubts, "Mom, why do people like to call out the number of soul skills before releasing soul skills? They even say the content of the soul skills. And I see that although they have been fighting for a long time, it seems that they don't use many skills, or they are not very sophisticated." Niu Jinfeng smiled. "Son, you are wrong. The two soul masters in the fighting arena just now are very good in both experience and fighting against enemies, and even have certain combat skills, but you have to pay attention to one thing. Our Po Hun clan can almost be said to be the pinnacle of Douluo Continent in terms of combat skills. There are not many people who are better than us in terms of combat skills. The Po Soul Spear technique that you practice every day was created after countless generations of improvements by our Po Hun clan, and we even borrowed some hammer techniques from the Haotian Sect. Do you think that two civilian soul masters can be compared with a Po Soul Spear technique? So according to you, these two soul masters are very good. These two soul masters are just so-so. If it is a soul king from a large sect, they should be able to defeat them both." "Mom, that's not the case. I think they are both pretty good." "Son, how do you think they are good?" Yang Podi was suddenly speechless. "Son, remember, truly powerful spirit masters and combat skills are not learned in the spirit fighting field. They are either inherited from the family or trained through life and death trials. Although these two spirit masters are okay, they should not be favored by the big sects. Judging from their body shapes and some of their faces, they should be over 40 years old, or even almost 50 years old, and their potential is relatively limited." "Mom, then why do they still want to participate in the spirit fighting field? In order to fight for an opportunity, These two spirit masters are now considered high-level spirit kings. If they were in some small cities, they could even be city lords, but judging from the looks of these two people, they should want to fight again and gain some resources or the attention of the big sects through the spirit fighting field. In this way, they may be able to impact the soul saint level in their lifetime. You know, the 6th and 7th spirit rings are not something they can think of at their current strength. Well, what if the two of them join some big sects or families, son? I just said that with their potential, the big sects should not look down on them, and the small sects can't provide them with what they want. What about the spirit hall? The spirit hall is a possibility, but the spirit hall values the loyalty of spirit masters very much. If the spirit master is not trained by them, it may cost more to get their help. Chapter 11 Whale Rubber. After the fighting spirit competition, Niu Jinfeng also took Yang Podi home. After returning home and lying on the bed, he thought about what he had seen and heard today. The fight between the two soul kings in the fighting spirit field was a great stimulation to him. Family, sect, civilians, empire, these words kept spinning in his mind. He was now considered a core disciple of the family, and could also be considered a disciple of the sect. He didn't care much about many resources before, but now it seems that his starting point is indeed very high. But there will also be more crises. The Po Hun clan is already comparable to half of the lower 4 sects in terms of strength. But whether in front of the Haotian Sect or the Wuhan Hall, the strength is not enough. There is no title Douluo and no own foundation. These are all shortcomings. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but think of his grandfather Yang Wudi again, hoping to get out of this fight safely. Just when Yang Podi was thinking about it, his father Yang Zhenshin also came back with the people who were playing. When his father came back, his mother Niu Jinfeng took his father to a hidden place and whispered, "Husband, when I took my son to the auction today, he insisted that I buy such a big piece of whale glue. My son is only 5 years old now, how could he know these things? Whale glue? That shouldn't be the case. My son has been staying at home all the time. He just likes to read books and practice martial arts. He rarely comes into contact with women. How could he know the function of whale glue? What are you talking about? My son is only 5 years old, how could he have problems with that? My son said he wanted to buy it for you. Did you tell him something, for me? How is that possible? How can I use such a thing, wife? Why don't we just ask our son directly? It always feels a bit strange. Okay, my son is still so young, you can't lead him astray." Hearing this, Yang Zhenshin was speechless. Just when Yang Podi just woke up, his father and mother came to his room at the same time, and his mother was holding the big piece of whale glue in her hand. Niu Jinfeng spoke directly, "Son, I didn't ask you at the shooting venue today, what do you want me to buy this whale glue for?" Dad Yang Zhenshin also spoke quickly, "Son, how do you know whale glue? Your dad is in good health now, and I don't need this thing yet." Yang Podi heard the two of them talking, and he immediately complained in his heart, "What are you two thinking about? Whale glue is a good thing. Dad, listen to me first. I have read a lot of books recently, and I found that whale glue may have a great use." Both parents looked at Yang Podi with question marks on their faces. "Dad, I've read a lot of ancient books and found that whale glue will only have that effect if you only eat a little bit. But for us soul masters, if we use fire to melt the whole piece of whale glue and then swallow it directly, it will have unexpected effects and benefits." "Son, which ancient book did you find this from? If it really works, I'm afraid the price would have increased significantly by now." "Dad, I'm sure it works. If you don't believe me, you can try it. Anyway, even if it doesn't work, it's harmless. And, Dad, you have to pay special attention. Don't tell anyone about the effect of whale glue, not even the members of our Po Hun clan." Yang Podi repeatedly told his father not to tell anyone. For the current stage of Douluo Continent, whale glue can be said to be a cheating existence. If it wasn't for his own father, and if he happened to meet it at the auction, he wouldn't want to expose it so early. Besides, no family is a monolithic entity. In the original work, the second grandfather Yang Wudi was captured by the Spirit Hall and eventually leaked the secret medicine of the Po Hun clan, colorful, which made the Xiandao Empire quite passive. Yang Zhenshin was still a little confused. "Son, according to what you said, does swallowing a whole piece of whale glue really work?" "Dad, it really works. If you don't believe me, you can really try it first." Yang Zhenshin looked at the fist-sized whale glue and couldn't help swallowing his saliva. "But there's such a big piece here, can I swallow it all at once?" Niu Jinfeng interrupted, Sun said it works, what are you still doubting? But, Yang Zhenshin looked at the size of the whale glue and was speechless. In the next 2 days, Yang Podi got up and practiced normally every day, and his days were like returning to the Poi clan, but his mother and father disappeared for 2 whole days and nights, which made him a little uncomfortable. On the 3rd day, his parents finally came back. And the 2 of them had ruddy complexions, and even their hair and skin turned a little white, especially his father, who almost smiled at the corners of his mouth. Niu Jinfeng and Yang Zhenshin brought Yang Podi back to the room. Son, the effect of the whale glue you mentioned is really good. My soul power has been increased by 1 level, and now I am a level 72 soul saint. Moreover, after I ate whale glue, a lot of impurities were discharged from my whole body. In the future, my cultivation should become faster. Dad, congratulations, but why did you bring me into the room in such a mysterious way? Niu Jinfeng said quickly. Son, let me ask you a question, does this whale glue have any effect on women? Mom, whale glue should be effective for soul masters, both men and women, and whale glue seems to be more effective on women, and it also has beauty effects. Not bad, my son is sensible. Otherwise, such a good thing would have been missed. Yang Podi looked at his parents a little seriously. Dad, Mom, don't tell anyone about the whale glue for now, including the people in our Poi clan. Yang Zhenshin was a little surprised and said, Son, why do you have such an idea? Dad, the matter of whale glue is of great importance. After all, our Poi clan is only a subsidiary sect of the Haotian Sect. We still have to keep some of our own things, but what about your grandfather? Don't tell Grandpa yet, and don't tell anyone. At this stage, only the 3 of us need to know. But son, since whale glue has such good effects, can we buy more? But if we buy too much, will it arouse suspicion from others? Dad, this depends on you. Dad Yang Zhenshin was a little confused. Look at me? How can it look at me? Yang Podi and Mom Niu Jinfeng looked at each other and couldn't help but smile. Niu Jinfeng said meaningfully, Husband, the effect of whale glue is well known to everyone. In order to conceal our purpose of purchasing whale glue, we have to put you in an awkward position. What's so awkward about this? Wait, what do you want to do? Nothing. I'll just spread the word outside that you are not very good in that aspect and need whale glue to be effective. Then it will be convenient for us to buy whale glue. Hearing this, Yang Zhenshin was dumbfounded. Wife, it's not good to spread this out. I am a man after all, Niu Jinfeng said righteously. Husband, for the sake of our family, I have to sacrifice your reputation. What, you are not willing to make this small sacrifice? Yang Zhenshin looked at Niu Jinfeng with despair on his face, then looked at his son, and finally had to surrender in tears. Chapter 12 Tang Hao breaks through the title Douluo. In the following period of time, many children lived normally in Xiandao City. Dad Yang Zhenshin bought a lot of whale glue at the auction venue, and even went to the black market to buy some. As a result, everyone looked at Yang Zhenshin with strange eyes during this period, and even his second grandfather Yang Wushuang found him, which made his father ashamed. Yang Podi and Niu Jinfeng were laughing secretly. Of course, Mom Yang Jinfeng also took a good piece of whale glue, and her soul power increased by 1 level. Now she's a level 64 soul emperor. What everyone didn't know was that a major event that affected the whole world had already happened. In the Xiandao Empire, Fazno province, a fierce battle was erupting at this time. Tang Hao, who had reached level 90, brought his wife Yin and his newborn child Tang Sen, and opposite him were the Pope of the Spirit Hall Jin Zunji, Zhu Douluo, and Ghost Douluo. The purpose of their coming here was obviously Tang Hao's wife, Yin, and the 100,000-year soul beast Blue Silver Emperor. Just like the original novel, Blue Silver Emperor Yin finally chose to sacrifice for her husband and son. Tang Hao finally got a precious 100,000-year soul ring from his wife. With the improvement of this 100,000-year soul ring, plus the secret skills of Haotian Sect, Ring Explosion and Big Zumi Hammer. In the end, he defeated Kyank Sunji and the other 2. And also seriously injured Kyank Sunji, forcing the 3 to retreat. When Tang Hao first entered the title Douluo, he was able to defeat 3 title Douluos at the same time, among which Kyank Sun level reached level 95, and there was also a god-level martial soul 6-winged angel. This battle can be called the most famous leapfrog battle of the entire Douluo continent. But there was no winner in this battle. Although Tang Hao won, he lost his wife. Kyank Sunji's plan to hunt soul beasts failed, and he returned to the Wuhan Hall seriously injured. That day, when Yang Podi was having dinner with his parents, His second grandfather came to the room quickly, looking very hurried. Zhenshin, something big happened, Yang Zhenshin hurriedly asked. Second uncle, what big thing happened? Why are you in such a hurry? Just got the latest news. The Spirit Hall Pope Jinzunji was seriously injured by Tang Hao, and died after returning to the Spirit Hall. Second uncle, how is this possible? The Spirit Hall Pope Jinzunji is a level 95 titled Douluo, and he is always accompanied by Ju Douluo and Ghost Douluo. No matter how strong Tang Hao is, he can't defeat the three of them at the same time. The second grandfather's face was full of worry. At the same time, news came from the Spirit Hall that Tang Hao has been promoted to title Douluo, and Tang Hao broke through to title Douluo at the age of 44, becoming the youngest title Douluo in history. Dad Yang Zhenshin was also very anxious. Second uncle, what should we do now? The Spirit Hall Pope is dead. They will definitely not give up. And where is Tang Hao now? Has he returned to the Haotian Sect? Where is Tang Hao exactly? There is no news now, and the entire Haotian Sect is in a panic. Second uncle, what should we do now? Should we go back to the Poi clan immediately? Second grandfather Yang Wudi glanced at Yang Podi and slowly began to calm down. No, we can't go back. Don't forget, we still have more than 50 children here. If we go back, what will happen to these children? Second uncle, if we don't go back, it won't be good. Dad will be under a lot of pressure at that time. No, Zhenshin, you are wrong. Now the Poi clan are all soul masters, and without the restraint of children, they can fight better. And don't forget the task your father gave to the two of us. Yang Zhenshin was a little anxious, but won't Dad be in danger in this way? Second grandfather Yang Wusheng's face changed unpredictably, sometimes worried, sometimes terrified, and finally his face became resolute. Zhenshin, before we went out this time, your father felt very bad. He probably sensed the danger. That's why he brought all of us and the children in the sect to Xiandao City. Our Po Yi clan is a subsidiary sect of Haotian Sect and is protected by Haotian Sect. Now the sect is in trouble. It's okay for my eldest brother and all the clan members to die in battle. But these children are innocent. Our responsibility is to raise all the children and leave roots for our Po Yi clan. Second uncle, what should we do now? Zhenshin, we will call all adults to a meeting immediately. From today on, no one is allowed to go out. We must be ready for battle at any time, increase martial law, and ensure the safety of these children. Okay, second uncle, I'll arrange it right away. Yang Zhenshin left quickly after saying this. In the next few days, all the games were cancelled, all the adults were arranged to patrol or guard, and no one was allowed to go out. All the adults were worried, as if a storm was coming. But they seemed to be full of confidence in Haotian Sect. In the next period of time, various different news came. The first news was that Tang Hao announced his withdrawal from Haotian Sect from somewhere, and the world was in an uproar. Then the Spirit Hall announced that the disciple of the former Pope Jinzunji, Saint Bibidong, would succeed the Spirit Hall Pope. At the same time, the Spirit Hall declared war on the Haotian Sect. The new Pope Bibidong personally led many elders and sent a large number of Soul Master Corps to the Haotian Sect. It seemed that they had the intention of destroying the Haotian Sect and avenging it. Suddenly, everyone in the Soul Master world was in danger. Then the news came that the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Sect and the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Sect both sent Soul Master armies to the Haotian Sect, and even the leaders of the two sects were dispatched, while the Xiandao Empire was led by Prince Zuxing to the Haotian Sect. Looking at this situation, the four major forces may break out in a war at any time. At this time, the entire Haotian Sect was like an ant on a hot pot, and everyone was very uneasy. Sect Master Tang Zhen, the Sect Master's son Tang Zio, and all the elders gathered together, and everyone on the scene looked very heavy. Finally, Tang Zhen spoke. Great Elder, what's the situation outside now? Sect Master, the situation outside is very bad now. The Spirit Hall is led by the new Pope Bibidong. It is estimated that the number of Spirit Masters coming to attack the Haotian Sect this time exceeds 10,000, and there are at least more than 6 titled Douluo. The Spirit Hall actually sent so many people. It seems that this is their full strength. Yes, I got the news that the Spirit Hall has summoned back many Spirit Masters stationed in various parts of the continent. Is Jin Daoliu coming this time? I haven't received any news from Jin Daoliu yet. Jin Daoliu should be frightened by our old sect master and dare not come for the time being, but now it's his son who is dead. I'm afraid he will come sooner or later, and then it will be really troublesome. By the way, what is the current status of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Sect? the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect and the Heaven Dao Empire. The Seven Treasures Glazed Sect is led by Sect Master Ning Fengzi, who is on his way with Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo. They have sent 1,000 Soul Masters. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Sect is led by Sect Master Yu Yuantan himself, who is leading 800 Soul Masters. The Heaven Dao Empire is led by Prince Zuxing, who is on his way with 50,000 troops. Tang Zhen showed a worried look on his face. Our Haotian Sect's inner and outer sects combined have an estimated 4,000 Soul Masters, including 2,000 Soul Masters from the inner sect and 2,000 Soul Masters from the 4 single-attribute outer sects. Even with the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Sect, the total number of Soul Masters is only 5,800. The Spirit Hall directly sent 10,000 Soul Masters, so the gap in strength is still huge. Chapter 13 War breaks out. After hearing Tang Zhen's words, everyone's face became even more serious. But Tang Zhen continued, whether it is the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect or the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Sect, their reinforcements today will be returned at a price in the future. Even if it is the 4 single-attribute families in the outer sect, we will appease them after the war. If we fight to the end, our sect's foundation will probably be exhausted. At this time, the Great Elder spoke. Sect Master, our Haotian Sect is the #1 sect in the world. Even if we die in battle until the last person, we will never surrender. The other elders also spoke. Sect Master, our Haotian Sect will definitely fight to the death. Tang Zhen also understood what everyone meant. Dear elders, our Haotian Sect is determined not to retreat and will fight to the death. After everyone's mood calmed down, Tang Zhen spoke again. Great Elder, is there any news about Hao now? Sect Master, Tang Hao has now broken through the title Douluo and is called Haotian Douluo. Since we received the news that he withdrew from the Haotian Sect, there has been no news about him now. Hao is fighting 1 against 3. He must be seriously injured. Great Elder, continue to send people to inquire about Hao's news. We must find Hao. At this time, a disciple rushed in. Master, it's not good. The people from the Spirit Hall are outside the sect. Hearing the disciple's report, Tang Zhen and the elders walked out of the door together. They saw that the sect was crowded with Soul Masters, and all the Soul Masters were wearing white clothes, although they said they were mourning the former Pope Jin's Unji. Judging from the number of Soul Masters, the total number is probably more than 10,000, and the proportion of high-level Soul Masters is very high. At this moment, a huge voice came from the Spirit Hall camp. People of the Haotian Sect, listen up. You have 1 hour to hand over Tang Hao, the murderer of our former Pope, otherwise we will launch an attack and leave no one alive. Tang Zhen ignored the voice and continued to say to the Great Elder, Great Elder, how long will it take for the reinforcements from the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect and the Heaven Dao Empire to arrive? Sect Master, based on the fastest route, it will take at least half a day for the 2 major sects to arrive, and the army of the Heaven Dao Empire may take another day to arrive. It seems that the Spirit Hall wants to fight with us before our reinforcements arrive. Notify all inner disciples and affiliated sects that we are ready to fight at any time. Great Elder, you go to the Spirit Hall in person and tell them that Tang Hao has been expelled from the sect and is not on the Haotian Sect now. At this time, Tang Xiao next to him hurriedly said, Dad, although Brother Hao made a big mistake, the Spirit Hall is obviously targeting us deliberately, and their Soul Master army came so quickly, which is obviously premeditated. The Great Elder next to him also spoke again. Master, the Spirit Hall was able to gather so many Spirit Masters in a short period of time. It is obvious that they have been prepared to deal with us. Tang Zhen shook his head with a heavy face. I know that they are taking the opportunity to make trouble, but no matter what, Tang Hao did kill the Pope. And no one can say anything about their coming to seek revenge. Great Elder, you go and talk to them first, and see if they can put forward other conditions. After hearing what Tang Zhen said, the Great Elder quickly flew towards the Spirit Hall's army. But in less than 10 minutes, the Great Elder had already flown back. Sect Master, the Spirit Hall has a tough attitude and will not accept any other conditions. It only asks us to hand over Tang Hao, otherwise they will go to war. It seems that the Spirit Hall is determined to deal with us. Notify everyone to prepare for war. Also, let the Min clan notify the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect, and ask their clan leaders to come as soon as possible. The Great Elder showed hesitation. Sect Master, the Min clan may not be able to fly out, and the Spirit Hall has surrounded us. It seems that the Spirit Hall has already planned everything and is determined to destroy our Haotian Sect or severely damage our Haotian Sect Great Elder. Arrange for the children of our Haotian Sect to retreat to the ancestral land first. Sect Master, although the ancestral land is dangerous, I am afraid it can't stop their Soul Master army. Don't worry about this. My father Tang Chen and Jin Daoliu once had an agreement that before the two of them decide the winner, no one from the Spirit Hall is allowed to set foot in the ancestral land of our Haotian Sect, but the old master has been missing for many years. Will the Spirit Hall keep its promise? Although my father is missing, he is not dead. Moreover, Jin Daoliu has always valued his reputation and will never do anything that goes against his promise. After hearing this, everyone began to act. At the same time, outside the Haotian Sect, the clan leaders of the four single attribute families were gathering together. The four of them looked very nervous. After all, they were facing twice as many enemies. At this time, a disciple came to deliver a message. He took the message and took a look at it, then immediately handed it to the others. After seeing the message, Yang Wudi spoke directly. Our four families have always been protected by the Haotian Sect. Since the sect has made a decision, I will break out of the clan and fight to the death. After seeing the message, the other three also expressed their willingness to fight to the death with the strength of the entire clan. Then the four of them returned to their own clan lands, ready to fight at any time. As Tang Zhen said, the Spirit Hall was indeed well prepared this time. Whether it was releasing the news of Kyank Sunji's death or declaring war on the Haotian Sect, every step was very clever, and there was no time for the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Sect and the Seven Treasures Glazed Sect to react. Otherwise, with the combined forces of the three families, plus the army of the Xiandao Empire, I'm afraid the Spirit Hall would not be able to gain any advantage. The foundation of the three sects is still very deep. It is estimated that there are about 9,000 to 10,000 soul masters in the three families, which can completely compete with the Spirit Hall. But this time the Spirit Hall suddenly launched a war, and the three families had missed the opportunity. Nearly 20% of the disciples of each sect were doing business outside, so the situation was so tense. An hour later, the Spirit Hall did not pay attention to any conditions of the Haotian Sect, nor did it accept the reason for the Haotian Sect to expel Tang Hao from the sect, and directly launched an attack. The Spirit Hall was obviously well prepared. For the four families with single attributes in the outer sect, it sent more troops to contain them. The 2,000 soul masters of the four families with single attributes needed to deal with about 3,000 soul masters of the Spirit Hall. Instead, the Spirit Hall concentrated more troops to attack the gate of the Haotian Sect. In this way, the 2,000 disciples of the Haotian Sect had to face almost 7,000 soul masters. Almost every disciple had to face 3 to 4 soul masters. It can be said that they were completely crushed in terms of numbers. The gate of the Haotian Sect was carefully built by the Yu clan, but it did not play much of a defensive role for the 7 or 8,000 soul masters. Especially since the Spirit Hall had a large number of high-level soul masters, and even some of them were titled Douluo. Chapter 14 Haotian Sect Bloody Battle. Although the walls of the Haotian Sect are tall and majestic, they have a certain blocking power for ordinary people or low-end spirit masters, but for high-level spirit masters, the blocking power is very limited. Unfortunately, most of the inner disciples of the Haotian Sect have the Haotian Hammer as their martial souls, which lack long-range attack power and do not have hidden weapons like Tang San, so they cannot assist the sect's defense. In just a quarter of an hour, the walls of the sect had been conquered, and all the spirit masters began to fall into the battle. Now there are 4 titled Douluo in the Haotian Sect, namely Tang Zhen at level 95, the Great Elder at level 93, the Second Elder at level 92, and Tang Xiao at level 91. Their high-end combat power far exceeds that of other sects. In addition to the strength of the Haotian Hammer Martial Soul and the Haotian 9 Absolutes inherited by the Haotian Sect, it is almost difficult for a titled Douluo of the same level to defeat a titled Douluo with a Haotian Hammer Martial Soul one-on-one. But the Spirit Hall didn't know where it got the news in advance, and it knew the number and level of the titled Douluo in the Haotian Sect this time. It specially sent out 8 titled Douluo, 2 more than the 6 titled Douluo originally detected. The titled Douluo is very powerful, and its strength and harm far exceed that of Soul Douluo or low-end soul masters. This forced Tang Zhen and the elders to come out in advance to face it, otherwise they would just sit back and watch their own children being slaughtered. Especially Tang Zhen, although he is only level 95, he is extremely powerful, and ordinary level 96 soul masters are not his opponents. For masters of Tang Zhen's level, the Spirit Hall naturally came up with a strategy and took measures. Tang Zhen faced Qianzhen and Jiang Mo, two level 96 title Douluo, who were obviously carefully prepared by the Spirit Hall. Qianzhen and Jiang Mo are both level 96, and their soul power is one level higher than Tang Zhen, and both of them have the best weapon spirits, Pan Long Stick, which is not weaker than the Haotian Hammer in a sense. Even though the Clear Sky Hammer's Clear Sky 9 absolutes were extremely exquisite, they were still in danger when facing the attack of the two, and they were a little overwhelmed. Although the Great Elder, the Second Elder, and Tang Zio were all titled Douluo, the highest was only level 93, and their soul power level was not advantageous. The only advantage was the Martial Soul Clear Sky Hammer and the Clear Sky Sect's unique skills. But the Spirit Hall was obviously well prepared. Everyone was facing two titled Douluos. Although their soul power was not much higher than theirs, it was enough to contain them. Even Tang Zio could not win quickly. In the original work, Tang Zio relied on the Clear Sky formation to defeat three titled Douluos at the same time. He was considered the culmination of the Clear Sky 9 absolutes, but he had just become a titled Douluo and did not have such exaggerated strength. For the Clear Sky Sect, what was even more tragic was that they had to face countless soul masters. This time, there were as many as 7 or 8,000 soul masters attacking the Clear Sky Sect itself, among which there were a lot of soul Douluos and soul saints, who simply did not want to give the Clear Sky Sect a chance to survive. In just 1 hour, the entire Haotian Sect was full of ruins and flames. There were sounds of fighting and screams everywhere. It was impossible to count how many direct disciples and spirit masters died in this war, but the death and injury ratio was definitely very high. Even the first and second elders were besieged and in danger because of their old age, and they were also seriously injured. Tang Zhen himself was under great pressure. Qianzhen and Jiang Mo, the two titled Douluo, cooperated very well, and could complement each other in offense and defense. Every time Tang Zhen attacked, one of them defended, and the other attacked from different angles. It was even more stressful than fighting three level 96 titled Douluo. Tang Zio was relatively less stressed. Tang Zio was 59 years old this year. Whether it was spirit power, age, or physical strength, he was basically at the peak of his physical state. Facing two titled Douluo was more than enough, but he had no spare energy to help others. But there were screams of disciples of the Haotian Sect everywhere, and disciples of the Haotian Sect were dying at any time and anywhere, so the four of them could not concentrate on fighting. With a huge roar of a bear, the Great Elder's Clear Sky Hammer collided with a titled Douluo with a demon bear spirit. The Great Elder used his seventh spirit skill, the weapon Spirit True Body, while the opposite titled Douluo used the weapon Spirit True Body. A huge Clear Sky Hammer blasted towards a huge demon bear that was tens of meters tall. The two were evenly matched in the attack. However, the opponent took advantage of the time when the Great Elder was relatively weak and distracted after using the weapon Spirit True Body. A huge ghost leopard suddenly appeared in front of the Great Elder and grabbed the Great Elder directly. Two huge wounds appeared on the Great Elder's body, deep enough to see the bones, and even his left hand was directly broken. Seeing such a good opportunity, the two opposite sides attacked continuously without regard for their lives, and they must take away the Great Elder in one wave. Especially the ghost leopard Douluo on the opposite side was extremely fast and hard to defend against. Seeing this situation, Tang Zhen used the ninth spirit skill to fight against Qianzhen Douluo and Jiang Mo Douluo, and then flew to the Great Elder to try to rescue him. Qianzhen and Jiang Mo also knew Tang Zhen's intention and chased him directly. Several titled Douluos of the Spirit Hall seemed to have been prepared. At this moment, the two titled Douluos, Demon Bear and Ghost Leopard, who were originally besieging the Great Elder, directly abandoned the fleeing Great Elder and rushed towards Tang Zhen instead. In this way, in a short period of time, Tang Zhen had to face four titled Douluos at the same time. The originally relatively even situation collapsed in an instant. Tang Zhen had to fight 1 against 4. Several people in the Spirit Hall also understood that Tang Zhen was the spiritual leader of the entire Haotian Sect. Under the siege of the four titled Douluos, Tang Zhen was a little exhausted in an instant, especially Ghost Leopard Douluo, whose speed was far superior to Tang Zhen. While Tang Zhen was fighting with the other three, he attacked him many times and caused many injuries to Tang Zhen in a short period of time. Seeing this, the other three people also used their soul skills on Tang Zhen as if they were free. At the same time, The second elder was also seriously injured due to his old age. Seeing the miserable state of the sect and the situation that was about to collapse at any time, Tang Zhen directly began to use his last trump card. I saw that many soul rings on Tang Zhen's martial soul, the clear sky hammer, exploded. The clear sky hammer quickly grew larger and finally became as big as a mountain. Qianzhen and Jiang Mo looked at each other and realized that it was a critical moment. The 9th soul ring on their panlong sticks flashed, and they used the 9th soul skills, saving all beings and attaining Podi at the same time. The 2 panlong sticks also grew rapidly, like pillars of heaven, and even bursts of dragon roars came from the panlong sticks. In the sky, the huge clear sky hammer collided with the 2 panlong sticks, and there was a huge fluctuation in the air. Qianzhen and Jiang Mo, the 2 titled Douluo, were repelled, and blood overflowed from the corners of their mouths. But Tang Zhen on the opposite side seemed to be more seriously injured, and his breath began to decline a little. The 2 titled Douluo, Demon Bear and Ghost Leopard, attacked Tang Zhen again, especially Ghost Leopard Douluo, who appeared in front of Tang Zhen in an instant and directly caused Tang Zhen serious injuries. At this time, one of the 4 titled Douluo of the Clear Sky Sect was slightly injured and 2 were seriously injured. The situation was very serious, and they had to face the end of the sect's destruction at any time. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Haotian Sect Retreats. Seeing the situation so critical, Tang Xiao also used the 9 clears of clear sky to fight back the 2 titled Douluo he was facing, and quickly flew to his father, finally easing Tang Zhen's crisis. Seeing this, Tang Zhen knew that he was doomed to fail and could no longer do anything. He shouted directly, "All disciples of the Clear Sky Sect, return to the ancestral land immediately." Then, all the remaining soul rings on Tang Zhen's spirit Clear Sky Hammer exploded, and the Clear Sky Hammer became larger again. The Clear Sky Hammer, like a small mountain, directly separated the people from the spirit hall. Then, all the people of the Clear Sky Sect heard the order of the sect master and quickly rushed to the ancestral land. Tang Zhen's last desperate ring explosion bought a little time for everyone. Only a moment later, the people of the Clear Sky Sect had already retreated to the ancestral land, and the people of the Spirit Hall also came to the outside of the Clear Sky Sect's ancestral land. But Qianzhen Douluo and Jiang Mo Douluo blocked in front and did not pursue. What caught everyone's eyes was a huge sword mark. When the others wanted to continue the pursuit, they were stopped by the demon subduing Douluo. This trace was drawn by the Great Priest. According to the order of the Great Priest, all disciples of the Spirit Hall are not allowed to cross this straight line. The new Pope Bibidong was far inferior to the Great Priest Jin Daoliu in terms of strength and prestige, and could not refute the words of the demon subduing Douluo. But Bibidong was still angry and said, "The Pope of my Spirit Hall died in the battle. The Haotian Sect just returned to the ancestral land. Just because of an agreement, will we give up the hatred of the Pope? You know, the Pope is the son of the Great Priest." Hearing this, everyone was silent, neither retreating nor attacking. At this time, in the ancestral land of the Haotian Sect, Tang Zhen, who had used the explosive ring continuously, was already dying, and the Great Elder was also seriously injured. It was estimated that it would be difficult to save him. Tang Zhen forced himself to speak. "Xiao, elders, for the survival of our Haotian Sect as the leader of Haotian Sect, Tang Zhen, the unfilial disciple of Haotian Sect, announces the final order. From now on, I will pass the position of leader of Haotian Sect to Tang Xiao, and immediately announce to the public that the unfilial disciple Tang Hao will be expelled from Haotian Sect. Our Haotian Sect will withdraw from the Soul Master world and will never step out of the ancestral land. This will be an explanation for the death of the Pope of the Spirit Hall and an explanation to the Soul Master world." After saying these words, Tang Zhen swallowed his last breath. All the disciples of Haotian Sect knelt down, calling out with grief and indignation, "Sect Master, Sect Master." Several elders were full of grief and indignation. "Our Haotian Sect is the #1 sect in the world, but it has fallen to the point where the Sect Master died in battle. We will never retreat. We will live and die with Haotian Sect." Many people at the scene echoed in grief and indignation, ready to fight with the Spirit Masters of the Spirit Hall outside the ancestral land at any time. At this time, Tang Xiao stood up and looked at everyone with a gloomy look. My Haotian sect is the #1 sect in the world. We must not let the inheritance be interrupted by me and everyone else. If we continue to fight, the entire Haotian sect will be razed to the ground. We lost this time, so we must practice harder and strive to restore the glory of the past." After saying this, Tang Xiao walked out of the ancestral land without saying a word. When the spirit hall saw Tang Xiao walking out alone, they were a little surprised. At this time, Tang Xiao was wearing a white cloth on his head, his face full of indignation. "People of the spirit hall, we really need to give an explanation for the death of your pope. Now, my Haotian sect's leader Tang Zhen died in battle, the Haotian sect's elder died in battle, and the Haotian sect expelled Tang Hao from the sect. From now on, my Haotian sect will withdraw from the Soul Master world and return to the ancestral land. I wonder if this explanation is enough." Tang Xiao's words spread throughout the world, and all the Soul Masters at the scene heard it, and everyone was whispering after hearing this. The spirit hall lost the pope, and now the leader and the great elder of the Haotian sect are dead and have retired from the spirit master world. No one will dare to say anything about this explanation. If they continue to fight, it will be the spirit hall bullying. Pope Bibidong gritted his teeth and glanced at the two titled Douluo Qianjin and Jiangmo. It was obvious that the two were very satisfied with the result and would not attack the Haotian sect's ancestral land again. The other seemed a little moved. Finally, Pope Bibidong spoke. "I hope the Haotian sect will abide by its promise and withdraw from the spirit master world forever. In addition, I hope that the Haotian sect will draw a clear line with Tang Hao, the murderer who killed the pope, otherwise it will be a violation of today's promise." Hearing this, everyone in both the spirit hall and the Haotian sect breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, Zhu Daoluo Yuguan spoke up. "Your Holiness, what should we do with the subordinate sects of Haotianzong now?" Pope Bibidong thought for a moment. "Drive them to the ancestral land of Haotianzong and see what Haotianzong chooses. If Haotianzong accepts them, we will take the opportunity to continue the war. If Haotianzong abandons them, we will teach these subordinate sects a lesson, so that they will never dare to submit to Haotianzong again, and the forces in the world will not dare to submit to Haotianzong again." Then, under the deliberate guidance of the spirit masters of the Wuhan Hall, the 4 single attribute families also came to the periphery of the ancestral land of Haotianzong, but the gate of the ancestral land of Haotianzong was not opened. Yang Wudi shouted to the ancestral land, "Sect Master, the Po family, are willing to follow Haotianzong to retire." The patriarchs of the other 3 major families also expressed their opinions. But the gate remained motionless, which obviously indicated that outsiders were prohibited from entering the ancestral land of Haotianzong. At this time, on the mountain of the ancestral land, Tang Xiao and several elders began to argue. Several elders, the 4 single attribute families, are loyal to our Haotian sect and have made countless contributions. Why not let them enter the ancestral land of Haotian sect as well? The second elder said quickly, "Sect Master, this is absolutely not possible. The spirit hall is obviously waiting for our decision. If we accept the 4 single attribute families, the spirit hall will use this as an excuse to attack us. Also, the ancestral land is a top secret place of our Haotian sect. It is related to the life and death of our Haotian sect. Outsiders must not be allowed to enter." Tang Xiao was still a little hesitant. "Then aren't the 4 single attribute families outside very dangerous? The 4 single attribute families relied on our Haotian sect to grow and develop, and now it is also their destiny." The elders around also spoke up and refused to open the mountain gate. On the spirit hall side, Zhu Daoluo spoke again, "Your Holiness, what should we do now? The 4 single attribute families have always been the minions of the Haotian sect, and they have been accomplices of the tiger. Let's teach them an indelible lesson. Just kill the chicken to scare the monkey, so that the spirit master world will not dare to rebel against our spirit hall again." Zhu Daoluo heard this and immediately ordered people to attack. In this way, thousands of spirit masters from the spirit hall began to besiege the 4 single attribute families, but did not launch any title Daoluo. At this time, Yang Wudi, Niu Gao, Titan, and Bai fought bloody battles, and countless family disciples died. For the 4 single attribute families, it is impossible to surrender after a long-term battle with the spirit hall. Now the only way is to break through. After the 4 people communicated, it was obvious that they had been abandoned by the Haotian sect, so they all decided to break through together. The spirit hall obviously did not want to eradicate the 4 single attribute families, and let the single attribute families break through, killing people and destroying their hearts. After a battle, the 4 single-attribute families successfully broke through, and the Haotian Sect war was basically over. Chapter 16, Exiting the Haotian Sect. After the 4 families with single attributes broke through the encirclement of the Spirit Hall, Yang Wudi, Titan, Bai, and Niagao gathered together again. This time, they discussed the direction of departure and their respective plans after leaving. Titan intended to go to Yongdao City, where the Power Clan developed. Niagao and Bai intended to go to the Xingluo Empire. On the one hand, the Xingluo Empire was powerful, and the Spirit Hall might not dare to be so presumptuous. On the other hand, the Xingluo Empire was also the ancestral land of the 2 clans, or the place of origin. The 2 clans had certain industries in the Xingluo Empire, and at least there would be no difficulty in rebuilding. Yang Wudi hesitated a little. Logically speaking, the Xingluo Empire was a good place to go, but now almost all of his children were in Yongdao City, and it was indeed good to develop in Yongdao City. After the 4 of them communicated, when Niagao heard that his daughter and grandson were also in Yongdao City, he thought for a moment and decided to go to Yongdao City first. Bai of the Min clan saw that the other 3 intended to go to Xiandao City, and the Min clan itself was too restricted, so he had to follow everyone to Xiandao City first. As for future development, it needed to be considered first, and escape the crisis in front of them first. After this battle, the 4 single-attribute families suffered heavy losses. Except for the Po clan, the other 3 families lost more than half of their members. On the contrary, the Po clan, which originally had 700 people, now has more than 400 people. The Po clan suffered relatively less losses, mainly because there were no children to restrain them, so they did not need to divide their troops to protect the children. In addition, when breaking through, some of the older people rushed to the front desperately and sacrificed for the family. In the end, the 4 clans decided to go to Xiandao City first, and other developments would be discussed later. Although the Spirit Hall allowed the 4 single-attribute families to break through, it was obviously not that simple, and sent a lot of people to chase them all the way from behind. But it was also quite lucky. After the 4 families with single attributes ran all the way to Xiandao City for an hour, they encountered a large group of people in front of them. It turned out to be the troops sent by the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect to reinforce the Haotian Sect. Even the sect leader Ningfengzi and Jian Daoluo were on the scene. With Ningfengzi, Jian Daoluo and the large group of Soul Masters from the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect, the Soul Masters of the Spirit Hall who came to chase them had to give up, which reduced the casualties of the 4 families with single attributes. Ningfengzi and Jian Daoluo were surprised to see that the people fleeing were from the affiliated sects of the Haotian Sect. The Haotian Sect has always been famous for its bravery and tyranny. How could there be a phenomenon of fleeing? But the 3 sects have always been of the same spirit. Originally, they came here to assist the Haotian Sect. After thinking about it, they decided to save the fleeing people first, so Jian Daoluo directly stopped the pursuers with one sword. Although the Spirit Hall won the battle against the Haotian Sect this time, it also suffered a lot of losses. There was no plan to fight the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect at the same time, so the pursuers had to retreat in the end. Of course, no title Daoluo was sent among the pursuers, otherwise it would have affected the reputation of the Spirit Hall. When Ningfengzi and Jian Daoluo heard about the fate of the Haotian Sect and its decision to withdraw from the Soul Master world, they were stunned. After thinking for a moment, they decided to station the army on the spot and decide on the follow-up actions after the other 2 families arrived. Half a day later, in a temporary meeting room, Ningfengzi and Jian Daoluo, the leaders of the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect, Yu Yuanzhen, the leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect, Prince Zuxing of the Xiandao Empire, and the patriarchs of the 4 single-attribute families gathered together. When Yang Wudi described the course of the war, plus some other sources of information, everyone at the scene was shocked. It was unexpected that the leader of the world's #1 sect was killed, and countless people were killed and injured within the sect. In the end, they chose to withdraw from the Soul Master world. Everyone was terrified. After a moment of silence, Ningfengzi spoke up. After receiving the news, my Kibaoliuli sect has gathered people and rushed here at the fastest speed. But I didn't expect the Spirit Hall to move so quickly and act so ruthlessly. If the Spirit Hall had acted half a day or a day later, with all the people from our 4 families, this situation would not have occurred. Yu Yuanzhen and Prince Zuxing also remained silent. After receiving the news, the 2 major forces also took action as soon as possible, but they still came too late. After a moment of silence, The old dragon Yu Yuanzhen also spoke up. The actions of the spirit hall this time, whether it is releasing news or gathering people, or even sending title Douluo to the Haotian Sect, every step is calculated very accurately. I'm afraid it will be difficult for the spirit hall to deal with it in the future. After the Haotian Sect retired, the three major forces all felt great pressure. When the four heard that the four single attribute families intended to go to Xiandao City, they were all surprised. Prince Zuxing was pleasantly surprised. The four families with single attributes were strong and well known. If they went to Xiandao City, it would be considered an improvement in the strength of the Xiandao Empire. Moreover, the four families all hated the Spirit Hall, so they were natural allies. After hearing about it, Ning Fengzi and Yu Yuanzhen also tried their best to invite the four families with single attributes to develop near their own sects, but they were all declined by the four people. In this battle, Yang Wudi and his four people's family was first besieged, then abandoned by the Haotian Sect, and finally experienced the pursuit of the Spirit Hall. They were full of hatred for both the Haotian Sect and the Spirit Hall. Therefore, they were very reluctant to join other sects. Finally, under the repeated assurances of Prince Zuxing, and even making decisions on behalf of the Emperor Zhi of the Xiandao Empire, directly arranging the clan land issues of the four families and the future development issues of the four major families, the four people decided to lead their families to Xiandao City for development. At this point, the Haotian Sect war was completely over. In a short time, a message spread quickly throughout the Soul Master world. Because the disciple killed the Pope of the Spirit Hall, Jin Zhenji, the Haotian Sect, which had dominated the world for many years, withdrew from the Soul Master world. The sect leader Tang Zhen died, and Tang Hao was expelled from the sect. The four families with single attributes that were originally affiliated with the Haotian Sect also officially announced their withdrawal from the Haotian Sect and went to Xiandao City for development. The entire Douluo Continent was shaken. The Haotian Sect has always been famous for its dominance and strength. The former sect leader Tang Chen was invincible. His martial soul, the Haotian Hammer, was also known as the world's #1 weapon martial soul. In the eyes of many people, it was even the world's #1 martial soul, but now it has ended up like this. At the same time, in the Haotian Sect's ancestral land, everyone was dressed in plain clothes, and countless coffins were placed in the hall. In the most central position was the sect leader Tang Zhen, and slightly next to him was the sect's great elder. In this war, the Haotian Sect suffered heavy losses. The two titled Daluos, the sect leader Tang Zhen and the great elder, died. There were originally more than 2,000 inner disciples, but now there are less than 800 left, and the casualties ratio exceeded 60%. Moreover, the four outer sects with single attributes were also forced to give up and withdraw from the Soul Master world. Moreover, the backbone of the world's #1 sect, the Haotian Sect, has been broken, and it is likely that it will never recover its former glory. In the Xiandao Empire, in the Fazno province, a middle-aged man with a beard and a newborn child was with him. After hearing about the Haotian Sect, he just kept drinking and his face was covered with tears. He kept muttering, "I am a sinner of the Haotian Sect." Chapter 17, Gathering in Xiandao City. One day after the war ended, the four families with single attributes came to Xiandao City. The four families did not follow the arrangement of Prince Zuxing, but separated. Among the four families, the Liai family had its own small industry in Xiandao City and returned directly to their own place. The other three families directly booked a hotel to stay. Yang Wudi took several elders and went directly to the house where the children were originally arranged to live. There were his younger brother, son and grandson, and there were many things he needed to communicate with his younger brother Yang Wudi. Prince Zuxing did not go home, but went directly to the palace. In the palace, Emperor Zhu Yi's face was also very solemn after hearing about the situation of this war. The Wuhan Hall has always put great pressure on the Xiandao Empire. Now even the world's #1 sect has suffered heavy losses and is forced to retire. How can it compete with the Wuhan Hall in the future? However, when Emperor Zhu Yi heard that the four families with single attributes came to Xiandao City, his face became much better. Zuzing, you did a very good job this time. Although the four families with single attributes are average in strength, they have more than 1,000 soul masters in total. Even if they do not join our Xiandao Empire, they will fight against the Spirit Hall with us. Tomorrow, you invite the four clan leaders to the palace, and we will discuss the placement of the four families with single attributes. Remember, We must make sure that they stay in the Xiandao Empire. Prince Zuzing was a little hesitant. Royal brother, I also know that the 4 families with single attributes are important, but will we be at odds with the Spirit Hall in this way? Moreover, after being abandoned by the Haotian Sect this time, the 4 families with single attributes may not join any forces again. Zuzing, you must remember that the Spirit Hall is now our biggest enemy. Even the Xingluo Empire is not as harmful as the Spirit Hall. Emperor Zhu has been in charge of the empire for many years. Although he is not a wise ruler, he still has his own views on the general situation of the world and knows who his enemies are better. When Yang Wudi brought the elders to the house, looking at the children playing and exercising around, they finally smiled, and all their fatigue and pain disappeared. Yang Washuang, Yang Zhenshan and others were very excited. Brother, you are finally here. How is the situation now? Yang Wudi glanced at the children again. Let's go into the room first and talk. After several people entered the room, there were a total of 9 people in the room, including Yang Wudi, Yang Washuang, Yang Zhenshan and 6 soul saints of the Po Yi clan. These were all the soul saints of the Po Yi clan, and the martial souls of the 9 people were all soul-breaking spears. Yang Wudi described the course of the battle in detail, including being abandoned by the Haotian Sect and being hunted down by the Spirit Hall. After hearing all this, Yang Washuang was very indignant. Damn Haotian Sect, our Po Yi clan has worked hard for Haotian Sect for generations, but they just abandoned us without saying a word. Big brother, what do you think we should do now? Yang Wudi was silent for a moment. There are several main issues now, and I specially asked everyone to come together to discuss them. First of all, should our Po Yi clan develop in the Xiandao Empire or return to the Xingluo Empire? Several people at the scene expressed their opinions, whether they supported returning to the Xingluo Empire or developing in the Xiandao Empire. Yang Zhenshan remained silent. Zhenshan, where do you think we should develop better? Yang Wudi asked directly. Dad, the Xiandao Empire is actually not bad. What's more, you came to Xiandao City with Prince Zuzing. I'm afraid it's not so easy to leave now. Besides, the royal family of the Xingluo Empire is quite powerful. If we go to Xingluo City, it will be easy for us to be annexed by the Xingluo Empire. If we are not in Xingluo City, we will be easily targeted by the Spirit Hall. So I suggest that we stay near Xiandao City. At least the royal family of the Xiandao Empire is not that powerful. After hearing this, everyone fell into silence. Finally, Yang Wudi made the decision that the Po Yi clan would rebuild their clan territory near Xiandao City and develop independently. After deciding to stay in the Xiandao Empire, Yang Wudi spoke again. After this war, our family was abandoned by the Haotian Sect. Now the Xiandao Empire, the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect have all proposed to win us over, but I have rejected them all. In the future, our Po Yi clan will develop independently and no longer rely on any sect. Also, regarding the specific location of our new clan land, everyone should think about it. In the next 2 days, our 4 single attribute families may communicate with the Xiandao royal family. After discussing some things about family construction again, everyone dispersed and went to see their own cubs. Yang Wudi came to Yang Podi's room. While Yang Podi was confused, he held his grandson tightly and refused to let go, making his breath a little unsmooth. Grandpa, you are finally here. I miss you so much. I will never be separated from you again when I defeat the enemy again. Yang Wudi touched his grandson's little head and rubbed it non-stop. Podi, Grandpa misses you too. Our family will not be separated in the future. In this war of Haotian Sect, without the burden of children, the Po Yi clan suffered the least loss among the 4 single attribute families. After the war, there were still more than 400 disciples, which was much better than the original book where there were only more than 100 disciples left. The other 3 major families lost more than half of their disciples, and now there are only more than 300 disciples left. It can be said that after this war, both the current combat power and the development of future generations are the best among the 4 single attribute families. After all, the children who are most likely to die in the war were protected in advance. The unintentional act of his grandson Yang Podi actually brought such great help to the family, which can be regarded as a great contribution to the family. Even other elders said they would praise him, which made Yang Wudi speechless. The next day, Yang Wudi and his 3 companions came to the palace at the invitation of Emperor Zhu Yi of the Xiandao Empire. After some communication, the 4 decided to establish their family near Xiandao City, which was only a few dozen kilometers away from Xiandao City at most. It was convenient in all aspects. Among them, The Po Yu clan was about 40 kilometers east of Xiandao City. The family's residence included a mountain and a valley, which was mainly convenient for the cultivation of medicinal materials. After all, for the Po Yu clan, refining medicine was the most important thing. Moreover, this place was only 60 kilometers away from the Sunset Forest, which made it convenient for the Po Yu clan to enter the Sunset Forest to pick medicinal materials. The other three clans were also distributed in various locations outside Xiandao City, very close to Xiandao City. In this way, the relationship between the four single-attribute families and the Xiandao Empire became closer. At the same time, they communicated with the Xiandao Empire. If they encountered foreign enemies, they would assist the Xiandao Empire in the fight, which was considered to be on the side of the Xiandao Empire. But the Xiandao Empire was not allowed to interfere in the internal affairs of the four families. As for other requirements, neither the Xiandao Empire nor the four single-attribute families mentioned much. It was just a first cooperation and they would not be involved too deeply. Chapter 18 New Tribe Land. In the following period of time, all the adults seemed to be very busy. Especially Daddy Yang Zhenshan, who had not been seen for a long time. Even Mom saw him less often. Yang Podi himself didn't care, and didn't clamor to go out to play. He practiced harder, practiced gun skills, exercised physical strength, took medicinal baths, and read books. Every day was scheduled very full. In just a few years, the ordinary books in the Poi clan had been almost finished. The remaining books were mainly some books on medicinal materials and books on martial arts training. These were kept separately, and Yang Podi couldn't touch them for the time being. Of course, these books and the family were kept separately mainly for the safety of the disciples. It was very dangerous for a child who hadn't awakened his martial arts soul to come into contact with this knowledge. 3 months after Grandpa Yang Wudi came to Xiandao City, on this day, most of the masters in the sect gathered on a mountain east of Xiandao City. This mountain is only of medium height and not very dangerous, but it is relatively large. The entire mountain is nearly 10 kilometers in radius. More importantly, there is a large valley in the mountain, and the climate is very suitable for growing medicinal herbs. The name of this mountain is Kingaon Mountain. At this time, on Kingaon Mountain, Yang Wudi and his party looked at the busy people at the foot of the mountain and seemed a little relieved. In the past 3 months, the Po Yu clan has spent most of the family savings to invite the Yu clan to build a family residence, and now it is finally almost completed. The Po Yu clan's family residence is built at the foot of Kingaon Mountain, with a radius of 2 kilometers, like a small city. Many buildings have been built inside the residence, including hundreds of houses, as well as many alchemy rooms, training rooms, weapon workshops, and even several large martial arts arenas. There is also a small lake on the edge of the residence. It can be said that there is almost everything a sect needs, and even the water source has been developed. Of course, Yang Wudi also arranged to secretly dig a tunnel for escape, which basically no one knows about. At this time, Niu Gao, who had been busy for half a day, came to the crowd and boasted directly, "Old goat, how is it? Are you satisfied with this newly built clan land, old rhino? Your cooking skills are really good, old goat. I really don't know why you chose this place. You can grow medicinal herbs anywhere. Although this place has beautiful mountains and rivers, it has a huge disadvantage, old rhino. Of course I know this disadvantage. But my Po Yu clan has nothing else but the fear of death. If someone attacks, the worst that can happen is that my whole clan will die. The construction of the Po Yu clan settlement is good in all aspects. The only disadvantage is the lack of defense. It can be said that there is no natural barrier. The clan's gate is only a few dozen meters of wall, but it is not enough for a soul master. But Yang Wudi doesn't care about this. Old rhino. How long will it take you to finish the construction? We will be finished in 3 days at most. After 3 days, all of you, the Po Yu clan, can move in. Thank you so much this time. Without the full efforts of your Yu clan, our clan land would not have been built so quickly. Old goat, you are too polite. What is our relationship? By the way, when do you plan to move in? Since you will finish the construction within 3 days, then my Po Yu clan will move in after 3 days. Then we will all get together. That's not bad. Then I can just see my little grandson. I haven't seen my little grandson for a while. Very good, then it's decided. Just like that, 3 days passed, and Yang Podi, led by his parents and grandfather, came to the new settlement of the Po Yu clan for the first time. Looking at the tall walls and brand new buildings, He was immediately very surprised. Judging from the situation, they should all be newly built, which means that the settlement was completed in less than 3 months. It is worthy of the Yui clan. Yang Podi followed his parents to his home. Compared with the previous clan land, it was much better in size and luxury. Only 3 people lived in a very large yard. The yard was fully equipped with all the necessary facilities. There were more than 10 rooms alone, as well as a study, storage room, alchemy room, kitchen, hall, etc. It was very luxurious. There was even a large training ground and a pond in the backyard. The training ground was tens of meters long and wide, no smaller than a basketball court in the previous life. The water in the pond was clear, and various fish were swimming in the water. In terms of the environment, it was much better than those so-called luxury villas in the previous life. The only drawback was that there were too few people. When they arrived at the new home, everyone was very satisfied and excited. But for some reason, his mother seemed a little shy. During dinner, she said to Yang Podi directly, "Podi, what do you think of our family of 3 now? You don't seem to like playing with those kids." Yang Podi was a little speechless. Those kids are too childish. I still prefer reading or exercising. Son, you are so good. But don't you feel a little lonely? Mom, why do you talk like that? How can a little kid like me be lonely? Son, children should play with everyone more, especially take care of those children younger than you, so that you can become an excellent leader of the Po clan in the future. Yang Podi was speechless. Mom, I'm still young, why should I think so far ahead? And you have said so much today, what do you want to say? Mom Niu Jinfeng hesitated for a long time before finally speaking. Son, do you mind having a younger brother or sister? Mom, you are not pregnant, are you? Hearing this, both father and mother were silent. Yang Podi instantly understood that he was going to be a brother. Mom, being pregnant is a good thing, which means I'm going to be a brother. Why do you two have such strange expressions? The two also hurriedly spoke up. It is indeed a good thing, son, no matter what, you are our most beloved son. But when the two saw Yang Podi's nonchalant look, they couldn't help but complain in their hearts, is my son stupid? He is about to have younger brothers and sisters, but he doesn't care at all. After dinner, Dad Yang Zhenshin was a little serious. Son, I plan to tell the family about the effects of whale glue recently. What do you think? Yang Podi also thought for a moment. Dad, the family has experienced this crisis, and there have been many casualties. It will be a good thing for the family if you tell Grandpa and others about the effects of whale glue. Yang Zhenshin has been having a hard time recently. Ever since the news that he was going to take whale glue came out, everyone looked at him strangely. Even his father Yang Wudi found him and asked him to take care of himself, which made him speechless. Chapter 19, Development of the Po clan. Hearing this, Mother Nia Jinfeng suddenly said, Son, do you think your grandpa loves you? Mom, Grandpa is very good to me. Then can my son tell your grandpa the secret of whale glue? Yang Podi thought for a moment. Mom, although whale glue is effective, it is only the first time to take it, the effect will be better. It is not a big secret. There is no problem telling Grandpa. But it is best not to tell other people, otherwise the price of whale glue will rise sharply, and we can't buy it ourselves. After hearing this, Father Yang Zhenshin and Mother Nia Jinfeng also nodded. The next day was the day for the 4 families of single attributes to gather together, and they also celebrated the official relocation of the Po clan. From now on, the Po clan can be considered a small force. On this day, the Po clan was attended by Yang Wudi, Yang Wushuang, Yang Zhenshin and Yang Podi. The other 3 tribes also had 3 or 4 people from each family. The leader of the Power tribe, Tai Tan, brought his son Tai and Yuo and grandson Tai Long to participate. The leader of the Min tribe, Bai He, brought his son and grandson to participate, but they were all people without names in the original book. The leader of the Yu tribe, Niu Gao, brought his son and grandson to participate. Of course, my mother Nia Jinfeng also participated. Her main role was to play with the 4 children. The 4 children were of similar age, and getting along more together would also facilitate communication among the 4 families in the future. After all, in a sense, the 4 families with a single attribute were a small alliance, and only by joining forces could they deal with various problems. And surprisingly, the 4 children were all 5 years old. The child of the Min tribe was called Bai Ziofei, and the child of the Yu tribe was called Niu Meng. According to the time of birth of the 4 people, Yang Podi was the oldest, Niu Meng was the second, Tai Long was the third, and Bai Ziofei was the 4th. Because the four people were of similar age and had similar family backgrounds, they actually got along well. But in comparison, Yang Podi felt that Niu Meng was a little silly, Tai Long had a good personality and was more heroic, and Bai Xiaofei was relatively careful. After the party was over, what did my mother Nia Jinfeng discuss with my grandfather alone? It was probably about the special effects of whale glue. After it was over, Niu Gao hugged Yang Podi and praised him non-stop, as if he wanted to snatch this little grandson away. And Yang Zhenshin also found his father Yang Wudi. Dad, my soul power has been upgraded to level 72. Yang Wudi looked at his son. Not bad, Zhenshin. There are a lot of things recently. You can still practice seriously. If I hand over the Po Yi clan to you in the future, I will also be relieved. Yang Zhenshin shook his head. Dad, I estimate that I should be able to upgrade to level 73 in a month at most. Hearing this, Yang Wudi began to become serious. Son, although the family is under great pressure now, you must also proceed step by step, and you cannot take any overdraft potential to improve your soul power. Yang Zhenshin was speechless for a while, and finally had to carefully explain the whale glue matter to his father. After hearing this, Yang Wudi's face turned serious. Son, are you sure about all this? The effect of whale glue is really so good. Dad, how could I lie to you about such a big thing? After taking whale glue, Jin Feng has been promoted to level 64, and the speed of cultivation has also increased a lot. Yang Wudi looked at his son. Is this the reason why your health was reported some time ago? Are you looking for this excuse to buy whale glue? Yang Zhenshin was speechless again. Dad, the effect of whale glue is so good, I just stockpiled some in advance, and your grandson will also need it in the future. Then why didn't you tell me before the gathering of the four single attribute families? Although our single attribute families have a good relationship, after the incident of Haotian Sect this time, I understand that I can't trust anyone too much, so I deliberately didn't say it. But Jin Feng should have told my father-in-law Nia Gao yesterday. Son, it seems that you have indeed grown a lot after the war with Haotian Sect. We used to trust Haotian Sect too much, so we suffered such a heavy loss this time. Let's do this, son. The family is in a state of disrepair right now. Let's discuss the whale glue with the elders, so that it will be easier for our family to develop in the future. In this way, Yang Wudi convened another meeting of elders in the family. Everyone was very surprised when they heard about it. They didn't expect whale glue to have such an effect. Many people couldn't help but think of the rumors about Yang Zhenshin some time ago, and couldn't help but complain in their hearts. Yang Zhenshin, this little bastard, didn't even mention such a good thing now, and for this whale glue, he even ignored his reputation. How cruel. Yang Wudi stopped everyone's discussion. There are two issues that need to be focused on now. First of all, the secret of the effect of whale glue cannot be known to any outsider except my Poi clan. Although my relative Nia Gao already knows it, I will communicate with him and pay attention to the confidentiality of the two families. The second issue is that the price of whale glue is relatively expensive. I may have to trouble you, my second brother, to go to Hanhei City. It is easier to buy whale glue in Hanhei City. Both the quality and the price are much better than those in Xiandao City, but you must pay attention to confidentiality. After listening to the words of Yang Wudi, the clan leader, everyone at the scene also expressed their determination to keep the secret. If any younger generation needs to take whale glue in the future, they will report it to the family in advance. Then, everyone at the scene looked at Yang Zhenshin. This grandson secretly bought a lot of whale glue in the market some time ago due to his personal health problems. Can he take it out first to improve the strength of the family? Finally, Yang Wushuang spoke up. Nephew, why don't you lend us the whale glue you bought and try it out? I'll go to Hanhei City to buy it and return it to you after I get it back. Yang Zhenshin was speechless. Going to buy whale glue had nothing to do with trying it out in advance. But the other party was his second uncle, so it was difficult to refute. In the end, he had to reluctantly take out a few pieces of whale glue from his body. Everyone looked at the whale glue that Yang Zhenshin took out, and couldn't help but complain again. Is your grandson really that bad? He actually bought so much, and the age and size are very good. In the end, Yang Zhenshin still promoted his son. The effects of the whale glue this time were all discovered by my son Yang Podi by chance when he consulted ancient books. After hearing this, everyone at the scene praised Yang Podi. I've always thought Podi is smart and has a bright future. We in the Podi clan all like to make medicine, and finally we have someone who likes to read. Podi has done a great job for the family this time. I'll definitely praise him when I have time. Yang Wushuang even said, don't worry, Nephew, as long as Podi grows up, I will definitely support him to become the young patriarch of our Po Yi clan. Yang Zhenshin was quite happy to hear what the others said, but he always felt something was wrong. Wait, if you support my son to be the young patriarch, then what am I? Chapter 20, Soul Awakening. In the following period of time, the elders in the family took whale glue one after another, and the effect after taking it seemed to be much better than expected. Almost everyone increased their soul power by 1 level, and after taking whale glue, the body would excrete a large amount of black substances from the skin, which were impurities or even toxins. For a period of time, everyone looked at Yang Podi with a smile on their faces, and liked to hug this 5-year-old child, which made him speechless. Yang Podi himself was also thinking secretly, is the effect of whale glue really that good? These elders and his family are not just as simple as increasing their soul power by 1 level, everyone's cultivation speed has increased a lot. In fact, it is not Yang Podi's fault that he doesn't know, mainly because there are relatively more things involved. First, everyone in the tribe can refine medicine, and everyone likes to refine medicine. For them, refining medicine seems to be more important than cultivation. But as the saying goes, medicine is 3-point poison. Medicinal materials contain various toxic substances. Especially for long-term medicine refining, these toxic substances penetrate deeper into the blood and bone marrow of the tribe members and can no longer be removed. The effect of whale glue can strengthen physical fitness and blood, thereby enhancing the physical endurance of soul masters. At the same time, whale glue can also help expand the meridians and remove impurities in the body. It is a treasure for the Po Yi clan. In particular, the elders all took whale glue that is 10,000 years old, and the effect is not inferior to some natural treasures. After taking whale glue, my grandfather Yang Wudi has broken through to level 78, and my second grandfather Yang Wushuang has broken through to level 77. And according to the current training speed of the two, at most 2 years, the two can break through to the Soul Douluo level. After more than half a year, Yang Podi finally turned 6 years old, reaching nearly 1.3 meters tall. Although his face is childish, he also looks like a little adult. Recently, my mother's belly has begun to grow. It seems that in a few months, she will have a younger brother or sister. My father has been staying at home recently and has not gone out to do anything. He mainly takes care of my pregnant mother and little Yang Podi, and also works hard to practice soul power. Since taking whale glue, my father's cultivation speed has obviously become much faster. Since he broke through to level 73 5 months ago, he has now reached the peak of level 73. It is estimated that he will break through to level 74 in 2 months. Of course, this is also related to the fact that my father has not been refining medicine recently, while my mother Nia Jinfeng has broken through to level 65. After dinner that day, my father said to Yang Podi, "Son, you should rest early today and get better. Tomorrow is the martial soul awakening ceremony held by our whole clan. You will awaken your martial soul tomorrow." Hearing this, Yang Podi himself was also very excited. After 6 years in the mainland Douluo Continent, he is finally going to awaken his martial soul. Douluo Continent is known as the Bloodline Continent. No matter who you are, the martial soul is the foundation. Only with a good awakened martial soul and a high level of innate soul power can you continue to develop in the future. Otherwise, no matter how hard you work, it will be difficult to achieve anything. Just like Uzaigang in the original work, he awakened the martial soul Luo Sanpao and had a half-level innate soul power. If it weren't for his father being the leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect, it would be impossible for him to become a soul master. Uzaigang himself has worked hard for half his life, reading a lot of books from the Spirit Wall and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex, but he still hasn't found a way to break through to level 30. His family and background are not as good as Uzaigang's, and his way of picking up girls is also far different from Uzaigang's. If he doesn't do it well, he will be a useless person for the rest of his life. In this way, in the excitement and uneasiness, he gradually fell into sleep. Dad and Mom looked at Yang Podi with a little worry. After all, every soul master came this way. The next morning, Dad Yang Zhenshin and Mom took me to the place where the spirit awakened. Originally, Dad wanted Mom to wait for news at home, but Mom herself was too worried and insisted on coming. In the end, Dad couldn't win over Mom, so he had to let Mom come too. The place where the spirit awakened was actually outside the ancestral hall of the Po Yi clan. There were 8 chairs outside the ancestral hall, and sitting on them were my grandfather Yang Wudi and the 7 elders of the Podi clan. Unexpectedly, this awakening ceremony was actually presided over by Dad Yang Zhenshin, and I was also pulled to the first place in the team by my dad. Yang Podi was speechless. He had planned to see how other people awakened their spirits, but he was pulled to the first place. Soon, everyone was there. There were 13 children who awakened their spirits this time, all of whom were direct disciples of the Podi clan. In the world of soul masters, the biggest difference between direct disciples and collateral disciples is the spirit. Even if your father is of high status, if the awakened spirit is not the inherited spirit of the family, you will be reduced to collateral disciple. After all, no matter which family has a set of training methods suitable for spirits. This is also the reason why Uzaigang was rejected by the family. Yang Zhenshin took out 6 black stones and arranged them in a hexagonal shape. Podi, come up and come to the middle of the hexagon. Hearing this, Yang Podi came to the center of the hexagon with a nervous and excited mood. He saw that his father Yang Zhenshin's spirit was possessed, and a huge soul-breaking spear suddenly appeared in his hand. The length of the soul-breaking spear was more than 3 meters, and the entire spear tip accounted for about a quarter of the length of the entire spear. Then, 6 rays of light in Yang Zhenshin's hand entered into the 6 black stones. The stones emitted golden light, which shot into Yang Podi's body, like a golden cover, covering Yang Podi's entire body. His father's voice came from his ear, "Podi, close your eyes, stretch out your right hand and feel it slowly." Yang Podi closed his eyes and carefully felt the changes in his body. He felt that there seemed to be a force flowing through his body, and his whole body became warm. As time passed, a soul-breaking gun gradually condensed on his right hand, which was almost exactly the same as his father's soul-breaking gun, but the black gun body seemed to be deeper and the gun head seemed to be sharper. But all this seemed not to be over yet. The soul power continued to flow in his body, like a river, but there was no reaction on his left hand. Yang Podi thought to himself, this shouldn't be the case. Logically, after the soul-breaking spear awakened, I seemed to feel another different martial soul awakening, but there was no reaction on my entire left hand. Shouldn't the twin martial souls be one in the left hand and one in the right hand? Why does it feel a little wrong? Just as Yang Podi was thinking secretly, his body gradually returned to calm, leaving only the huge soul-breaking spear in his hand. Son, that's right, the awakened martial soul is the soul-breaking spear. Yang Zhenshin was also relieved at this time. The soul-breaking spear is the inherited martial soul of the Podi clan. As long as a normal disciple awakens the soul-breaking spear martial soul, his innate soul power is generally not too bad, and it is rare for his innate soul power to be lower than level 5. Chapter 21 Second Martial Spirit. Then, Yang Zhenshin took out another crystal ball from his body, which was a common crystal ball used to test soul power. Son, come here and put your hand on the crystal ball to test your soul power. Yang Podi walked up to him as he was told, put his right hand on the crystal ball, and injected soul power into the crystal ball. The entire crystal ball instantly shone brightly, and the soul power in the crystal ball increased, and in the end, the crystal ball was almost full. According to Yang Podi's own estimation, the crystal ball should be filled with about 90%. Could it be that he was at the 9th level of innate soul power? Dad Yang Zhenshin's face was obviously very excited, and he was forced to suppress it. Yang Zhenshin turned his head and glanced at his father Yang Wudi, who is the patriarch. Yang Wudi nodded gently, as if he had a deep meaning. Yang Zhenshin obviously understood what he meant, took back the crystal ball, and said under the gaze of the people on the scene, son, innate soul power is level 8, very good performance. Hearing Yang Zhenshin's words, everyone on the scene was whispering, and their faces were obviously filled with smiles. Especially for the elders sitting above, the innate soul power level 8 is already considered a very good genius. As long as they work hard to practice in the future, it should be no problem to become a soul Douluo. Then, the other children also awakened their martial souls with hope. But I don't know if it was too good luck or too bad luck. The remaining 12 children of the 13 children actually all awakened the soul-breaking spear martial soul, and all of them had innate soul power above level 5. The unlucky ones only had one innate soul power level 7 at most. Innate soul power level 7 is barely considered a genius. It is estimated that if they work hard to practice, they have a little hope of reaching the soul Douluo level. After the martial soul awakened, all the children were taken home by their parents. Yang Podi followed his parents and 2 grandfathers home, but they always seemed to feel a little strange when looking at their eyes. After returning home, His father Yang Zhenshin said, "Son, actually there was a little problem when the martial soul awakened just now." Yang Podi himself was confused. What problems could there be when awakening the martial soul? When I tested your innate soul power just now, your innate soul power should have been level 9. But I deliberately said it was level 8, Dad. Why is that? We, the Po Yu clan, are now at odds with the Spirit Hall and have a bad relationship with the Haotian Sect. For your safety, I deliberately said your talent and innate soul power are lower. This is also suitable for your future development. Dad, don't worry, I will be more low-key outside in the future. Son, you take a rest today, and I will teach you how to practice and meditate later. We will have an elementary school in our Po Yu clan, and you will go to the elementary school every morning to study. Yang Podi was stunned. Although he was only 6 years old, his mental age was over 30. He actually had to go to school, and to elementary school? It was really disgusting to go to school with a group of children. Dad, can I not go to school? It's nice to read books at home. Son, you have to go to school. It's not up to you. The school mainly teaches some things about the Soul Master world, including some precautions for cultivation. There are also some basics of refining medicine for our Po Yu clan and some basic application methods of the Po Hun Gun. When you have mastered everything in the school, I will teach you advanced knowledge of refining medicine. Remember, the Po Hun Gun and refining knowledge are the foundation of our Po Yu clan. Hearing what his father said, Yang Podi had no choice but to agree. But think about it, it makes sense. The Po Yu clan has a long history and has its own knowledge of refining medicine. Basic knowledge should be taught from an early age. After returning to the room, Yang Podi carefully thought about the process of his martial soul awakening, and always felt that something was wrong. According to the situation of the martial soul awakening at that time, after his own soul-breaking gun martial soul awakened, the soul power in his body was still flowing, as if he was going to awaken another martial soul. At that time, he clearly felt it all over his body, so why didn't he awaken the second martial soul? Did the second martial soul awaken completely? Or only partially awakened? How can I fully awaken? After thinking for a long time, I still felt that I had no idea, so I didn't think about it so much. Instead, I started to think about some future development plans. Innate soul power level 9, martial soul-breaking spear. Overall, it's not bad. Even without a second martial soul, it's already a genius among geniuses. In the future, should I still follow the habits of the Po Yu clan to obtain soul rings? If I follow the experience of the Po Yu clan to obtain soul rings, I always feel that the upper limit of development is relatively limited. According to the current development situation, Tang San should be 1 year old, which means that after 19 years, the Wuhan Hall will launch a soul hunting operation. At that time, the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect will suffer a devastating blow. Among them, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect will be directly wiped out, and the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect will be crippled. In other words, from now on, time is very tight. I have to do everything I can to become stronger before the war breaks out. Otherwise, the Po Yu clan will be in danger. But how can I improve the strength of the Po Yu clan? In any case, I have to obtain the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire first. That is the real treasure land, and it is also the place that can change the fate of the Po Yu clan. That afternoon, Father Yang Zhenshin came to Yang Podi's room with a book, and he looked quite serious. Son, now that your martial soul has awakened, I will start to teach you how to meditate. The world of soul masters has developed for countless years, and all the major sects have their own meditation methods. The meditation methods of different sects are not very different. Alice, my Po Yu clan, after all, was once the head of the outer sect of the Haotian Sect, and our meditation method is also the top. In any environment we are in, the world is filled with soul power. The so-called meditation is to make the soul power in the body flow through thinking, and at the same time drive the absorption of external soul power. Of course, in different environments, the attributes and concentration of soul power are different. Just like plant-type soul masters, if they can practice in the environment of their martial souls, the effect will be better. For example, fire-attributed soul masters can absorb soul power in the air faster by meditating under the conditions of fire. The soul-breaking spear martial soul our Po Yu clan belongs to the energy of gold attribute, which is why most of our Po Yu clan's practice rooms are built on a large amount of metal. You can try to meditate now. Just think of your body as a small world full of soul power. Use meditation to make the soul power in your body flow. The faster the flow speed, the more complete the direction of the flow throughout the body, and the faster the absorption of external soul power will be. After saying this, Yang Zhenshin took out a book. Son, this book introduces some precautions for meditation in detail. You can take a look first. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 First Meditation. Yang Podi took the book from his father and read it carefully. Meditation is actually very simple. All soul masters can do it. Thinking of this, Yang Podi couldn't help but think of Tang San's Zhuanshan Gong. Zhuanshan Gong can be said to be an alternative meditation method. It connects the current meditation method with the inner strength meridians in the martial arts world. In a sense, it is a more advanced meditation method. After all, there is no such thing as meridians in the world of Douluo Continent, and Zhuanshan Gong makes meditation more concrete, thereby improving the effect of meditation. Thinking of this, Yang Podi also started his first meditation. Yang Podi closed his eyes and carefully looked at the direction of the soul power flow in his body. As time went by, he could slowly control the flow of soul power in his body. The soul power in the whole body seemed to be guided through various parts of the body. As the soul power circulated, the soul power in the air seemed to resonate and slowly penetrated into his body, eventually making his soul power slightly stronger. The first meditation took a full hour. After an hour, Yang Podi opened his eyes. Dad, I have completed a meditation, and I feel that my soul power seems to have improved a little bit. Yang Zhenshin carefully observed Yang Podi's body and saw that nothing was wrong with his son. Son, meditation is a process of accumulation. Only through constant meditation can you become stronger. Your meditation just now is quite successful. It seems that your talent for cultivation is really good. However, son, as a combat soul master, in addition to meditation, you must also pay attention to actual combat ability and physical exercise. All three are indispensable. Dad, I know, don't worry. I have prepared a detailed training plan. After saying that, he took out a set of training methods for his father to consult. After all, as a person who has read the original book, he naturally knows some good training methods, and also understands what the real focus is. The content of the training method is very detailed. Get up every morning and do some basic gun practice. In the morning, go to a small classroom to learn basic knowledge. In the afternoon, do weighted running. The specific weight depends on the physical strength. The weighted running includes running along the tribe or climbing Kingagan Mountain, etc., and also design some weighted frog jumps, weighted swimming, etc. After running, it is time for a medicinal bath. After the medicinal bath, it is time for dinner, and after dinner, meditation. Due to my young age, I have no actual combat plan yet. Son, your training method is very good, but isn't it a little too intense? You are still a child after all, you are just 6 years old. Dad, you are wrong. The younger you are, the better the training effect will be. Okay, son, but you must take care of your body. Don't over-exercise and let your body have hidden injuries. Dad, that depends on you. You have to configure the corresponding medicinal bath plan according to my physical condition, you little bastard. Speaking of medicinal bath plans, my Po Yi clan is definitely the strongest in the entire Douluo Continent. Back then, even the disciples of the Haotian Sect used our education plan, and even Tang Hao and Tang Xiao used our medicinal baths. That night, Yang Zhenshin brought his son's training plan to his father. Dad, what do you think of your grandson? This training plan is not bad, right? Yang Wudi looked at the training plan carefully and nodded from time to time. Yes, this plan is very good, worthy of being my grandson, but, Zhenshin, didn't you find any problems? Dad, I think this training plan is very good. How could there be any problems? Yang Wudi looked at his son speechlessly. Podi is just a 6-year-old kid. Are you sure you can let him train alone? What if there is any danger during the training? And you are a young clan leader. Have you ever thought about promoting such a good training plan to the whole clan? Hearing his father's scolding, Yang Zhenshin felt ashamed. He came here to take credit and show off, but he was scolded instead. Zhenshin, why are you still standing there? Go and ask your second uncle and a few elders to come. Yang Podi didn't know that because of his training plan, all the children of the Poi clan had their own miserable learning life. After breakfast the next day, Yang Podi came to the place of education in the clan alone. All the 12 children who awakened with Yang Podi were there. There are 5 or 6 small houses here, and there are some children studying in each small house. They are all children who have awakened their martial spirits over the years. The number of children in each house is not fixed. This year, the number of people who awakened their martial spirits is the largest, with 13 people. In previous years, there were only 10 or 8, and the lowest was only 5 in a year. The teachers were some elders in the clan. As their bodies began to weaken, they were no longer suitable for walking outside, let alone performing some clan work. They were invited by the clan leader Yang Wudi to be responsible for the training of children. These teachers were of high seniority and had a wide range of knowledge. Which child dared not to obey? They dared to do it directly, and no one dared to have any opinions afterwards. The content of the morning class mainly included several contents, namely the use of the soul-breaking spear technique, the basic knowledge of medicine, the meditation method of the soul-breaking spear Wuhan, and the introduction of various Wuhan knowledge in Douluo Continent. Anyway, the content of the class was more extensive and more targeted than that of ordinary academies. Many contents were the knowledge accumulated by countless generations of people in the Podi clan. In the afternoon, Yang Podi originally planned to train alone, but was notified that all the children of the Podi clan would be trained together. When Yang Podi came to the training ground in the afternoon, he was speechless. There were various weighted vests of different sizes on the training ground. The small ones were only a few kilograms, and the large ones were only hundreds of kilograms. All the children of the Podi clan who were studying here were present, including people of all grades. A rough estimate is that there were as many as 50 or 60 people. It seemed that the children of the Podi clan had not suffered any injuries in the Haotian Sect war. Some of them came to Xiandao City together this time, and some of them came out of nowhere, probably due to other arrangements of the family. The afternoon exercise was for all the children to climb the mountain with the weights. If the children were too young or weak, they would just climb the mountain. In short, there was only one purpose, which was to make all the children exhausted in the afternoon, and several teachers would pay attention to the physical condition of all the children throughout the process to prevent any danger. In this way, Yang Podi began his training career, which was also the basis of all training. Chapter 23 Little Princess Yang Xianayu. After a period of meditation, Yang Podi finally understood that he did have a second martial soul, but the second martial soul could not be fully summoned. Every time he meditated, in addition to the soul-breaking gun, his body also showed strange abnormalities, as if it could function by itself. Through reviewing the original work, Yang Podi also began to gradually understand that his second martial soul should be his own body, which is what later generations call the body martial soul. However, during the period of Douluo, the body martial soul was very rare, and the Soul Master world had basically no research on it. Many people even believe that the body martial soul was a waste martial soul. After all, there is no method for the second awakening of the body martial soul now, and the cultivation of the body martial soul itself is also very difficult. And taking the whole body as the martial soul is basically the best of the body martial soul, and it can even be said that it is not inferior to any martial soul in the world. However, the second awakening of the body martial soul is a very big trouble. 10,000 years later, the Podi sect also formed a deep-sea water pressure awakening method after countless explorations. The Soul Master was thrown into the sea, experiencing the water pressure and lack of oxygen in the sea, and after countless life and death trials, he could finally awaken for the second time. However, once awakened, both the martial spirit and the body will be qualitatively improved, which is why everyone in the Podi sect has multiple 100,000-year spirit rings. Thinking of this, Yang Podi began to understand that if he wanted to become stronger, he had to temper his body countless times and possibly awaken again, especially after experiencing the trials between life and death. For this reason, Yang Podi trained hard every day, and basically he was exhausted every day, and even fainted. But my mother has become nervous recently. On the one hand, she is worried about her own practice, and on the other hand, she is worried about the child in her belly. So every day at mealtime or other times, she likes to pull me and nag me non-stop. Yang Podi was a little speechless. Is this the so-called prenatal depression? After about 2 months. On this day, my mother finally ushered in the delivery period. My grandfather and father outside the delivery room were extremely nervous, and even Yang Podi himself was a little nervous. As the cry of a baby came from the delivery room, the cheers of the crowd came from inside. It's born, it's born, it's finally born. Then, a person in charge of delivering babies came out holding a child and handed the child to the grandfather. Congratulations to the clan leader, congratulations to the young clan leader, a daughter was born. Both his father and grandfather rushed to hold the little girl. Their faces were very excited, and the father was even a little incoherent. Yang Podi also took a closer look at his little sister, with a white face like snow, curved eyebrows, big eyes, and a small mouth, looking very cute. All the elders also ran over and teased the little princess of the Poi clan. The second grandfather Yang Wudi also liked this little girl very much and couldn't help but say, "Big brother, you see I have no children and am alone. I like this little granddaughter very much. Why don't you let me raise her?" As a result, before he finished speaking, he was chased away by his grandfather Yang Wudi. "I can't even spoil my little granddaughter myself, how could I let you snatch her away?" Someone said, "Chief, this little girl is so beautiful, what's her name?" After hearing this, Yang Wudi and Yang Zhenshin looked very embarrassed. They all liked their daughter and granddaughter very much, but they had never thought about naming them. It felt more difficult to name them than to fight on the battlefield. The granddaughter has just been born, there's no rush, no rush. In the evening, after everyone left, Yang Wudi, Yang Zhenshin and Yang Podi, the three of them, gathered together. My grandfather and father thought for a long time, and all the names they came up with were full of murderous aura. They didn't sound like a little princess, but more like a warrior. "Son, as a chief of the clan, I'm familiar with fighting and refining medicine. Let you, the father, do the naming." Yang Zhenshin's face was also a little ugly. "Dad, you know me too. I don't like reading since I was a child, and I'm not very good at naming." It seemed that when the word reading was mentioned, both of them turned their heads to look at Yang Podi next to them. "Son, you like reading books at such a young age? Why don't you give your sister a name?" "Yes, grandson, you see, your father and I have thought about it for a long time and feel that it is not suitable. You should think about it too." Yang Podi looked at his grandfather and father, and suddenly felt speechless. How could these two illiterate people become the clan leader and the deputy clan leader? They can't even give a name. The future of the Poi clan is worrying under the leadership of the two. But thinking that he has been a human for 2 lifetimes, and this is the first time that he has a sister to love, he is quite happy. After thinking for a moment, he wrote the 3 words directly on a piece of paper. Yang Xianayu, like a pearl given by God. This name is a good name for my son. I think it is very suitable for our little princess. Yes, this name is indeed very suitable for my little granddaughter. It's settled. From now on, my granddaughter will be called Yang Xianayu. In this way, the little princess Yang Xianayu of the Podi clan was born, and Yang Podi also had a little sister. In the following time, both father and mother liked to hug their sister every day, especially his own father. As long as he held her, he didn't want to let go, and didn't want to care about anything. He looked like he was content with having a daughter. Yang Podi couldn't help but complain. It is said that a daughter is the little lover of her father in the previous life. It's too exaggerated for his father to be like this. But his mother liked to ask him questions about cultivation every day, and she would give him pointers from time to time, especially when she saw Yang Podi's weak appearance after running with weights every day. She felt distressed. In this way, another month of cultivation passed, 3 months after the awakening of the martial soul. That night, Yang Podi only felt that the flow of soul power in his body suddenly became much faster, and his body was unobstructed, and he felt very comfortable all over his body. Breakthrough. I finally broke through to level 10. After 3 months of training, Yang Podi finally reached level 10, and a bottleneck had appeared on his body, and his soul power could not be improved again. But at the same time, he could fully feel the second martial soul on his body, which was his entire body, the best body martial soul. But Yang Podi did not tell anyone, not even his parents and grandfather. Just like his father hid his innate soul power level, it was also good to hide it now. What's more, the biggest advantage of the body martial soul is that it cannot be forced out if it is not used. At least no one will find it during the Douluo period. The next step is to obtain soul rings, which is also related to his future training plan. Chapter 24 Training Plan. After his soul power broke through to level 10, Yang Podi also calmed down and began to seriously think about his future training plan. The Po clan's martial soul, the Po Soul Spear, pursues the ultimate attack power and the ultimate destructive power. A set of experience passed down by the family. All soul rings choose offensive soul skills. In this way, the attack power can be almost the strongest among the same level, and even cross the level. The disadvantages are also obvious: insufficient defense, lack of changes. It can be said to be relatively rigid. Although it is good in theory, this is not the path Yang Podi wants to take. After reading the original work, Yang Podi thought carefully that the top weapon spirits in the world today include the Clear Sky Hammer, the Seven Killing Sword and the Po Soul Spear, and the representatives are the two brothers Tang Hao and Tang Xiao, Sword Douluo Chenzin and his grandfather Yang Wudi. But there is still a certain gap in comparison. Tang Hao defeated Kyank Sunji and two other title Daluos as soon as he became a title Daluo. His strength is obvious. When Tang Xiao was level 97, he was able to defeat three title Daluos with similar soul power in the spirit hall with the help of the Haotian formation, which simply blinded everyone. In the Battle of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Sect, although Jian Daluo Chenzin was able to defeat four title Daluos, he was already level 97 at the time, and with the assistance of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Tower, he defeated four Snake Spears who were only level 92 at the highest. Although it was impressive, it was not exaggerated. His grandfather Yang Wudi was able to defeat the 92-level Snake Spear at level 82. Although the record was impressive, it was basically a mutual destruction, and the soul power of level 82 was too weak in the end. The most important difference is that the Haotian Sect has always been following the route of pure strength, plus the self-created soul skill Haotian Juju, while the Seven Killing Sword and the Soul-Breaking Spear, although they follow the attack route, are not as focused as the Haotian Hammer. Therefore, Yang Podi's planned training route must also follow the pure strength route, and then study the gun technique, so that the upper limit will be higher. As for the gun technique, it is relatively simple. In his previous life, he especially liked to play with guns. He has learned both the Yang family gun technique and the Yu family gun technique. Although he only knows a little bit, as long as he masters the basics of gun technique, he can create his own soul skills. Another entanglement is that normally he has two martial souls. If he cultivates the main martial soul first, it is estimated that his physical fitness will be stronger. As long as he reaches the Soul Saint stage, his physical fitness will be comparable to that of a title Daluo. At that time, it will be very terrifying to practice the soul-breaking spear. But the main martial soul must be concealed now, not to mention that he is still the young patriarch of the Po Yi clan. He still has to show the soul-breaking spear martial soul outside, otherwise it will be difficult to convince the public. After some thinking, Yang Podi basically determined his subsequent training route. Now he lacks soul rings. Of course, this training route also needs the support of his father and grandfather. The next morning, Yang Podi went straight to his grandfather and father. "Grandpa, Dad, I am now level 10. They were both a little surprised, especially his father. "Son, how come you are practicing so fast? You have reached level 10 so quickly." Hearing this, Yang Podi couldn't help but complain. What kind of father is this? He doesn't even know the progress of his own son's practice. It was his grandfather Yang Wudi who spoke up. "Podi, rely on the best training plan of our Poi clan. I will definitely take you to find a spirit ring that suits you," Yang Podi said with a serious face. "Grandpa, Dad, I want to find a strength-type spirit ring." The two immediately became interested. "Podi, why do you want to find a strength-type spirit ring? Isn't it good to follow the inheritance of our Poi clan?" "Grandpa, the spirit ring configuration according to the Poi clan is indeed good, but I still want to find a strength-type spirit ring, and I have to find a strength-type spirit ring for every spirit ring behind me." Hearing this, Yang Wudi's face became a little serious. "Podi, why are you looking for so many strength-type spirit rings? Do you want to learn from the Power Clan? No, you want to learn from the people of Haotian Sect. Your idea is good, but many people have actually tried this method. But don't forget the properties of our Po Hun spear itself. If the gun body is too heavy, the gun method will easily fall. You must know that the gun method pays more attention to flexibility." "Grandpa, I've thought about the problem you mentioned, so each of my spirit rings must be absorbed beyond the age of the spirit ring. For example, the first spirit ring took me about 500 to 600 years. Podi, I have indeed seen soul rings absorbed beyond the age limit, but absorbing soul rings beyond the age limit can easily cause internal injuries to the body. Have you considered this? And it will be very dangerous." Yang Podi's face was full of determination. "Grandpa, Don't forget, our Podi clan is best at refining medicine. Internal injuries can be cured by medicinal baths. Moreover, I have been exercising for a long time and taking medicinal baths. If you don't believe me, Grandpa, you can try my physical strength. After hearing this, Grandpa carefully checked Yang Podi's body, and nothing was missed. Finally, Yang Wudi smiled. Not bad, you are worthy of being my Podi. Your physical fitness is very good, and absorbing a spirit ring of about 500 years should be no problem. Hearing this, Dad also breathed a sigh of relief. Podi, I will take you to hunt spirit rings tomorrow. What is your goal now, Grandpa? I don't have any specific goal. As long as it is powerful, it will be fine. However, the rarer the better, such as Titan Giant Ape, Dark Gold Terror Claw Bear, etc. Yang Wudi heard this and couldn't help but pat Yang Podi's head. Podi, you are thinking very beautifully. I have never seen any of the things you said, let alone the ones of the right age. Yang Podi couldn't help but complain. After all, he was an outer sect elder of Haotian Sect, but he had never seen even Titan Giant Ape. After some communication, the few people finally locked on some spirit beasts. They mainly included Kyanjanent, bear, ape, tiger, and dragon spirit beasts. These spirit beasts are often famous for their strength. The next issue is the age of the spirit beast. It is difficult to find a spirit beast of 500 to 600 years old. Several people planned that Yang Wudi would personally take Yang Podi to the Sunset Forest to search. Although there were not too many high-age soul beasts in the Sunset Forest, there were still many ordinary soul beasts, otherwise it would not have become one of the famous soul beast forests in Douluo Continent. Yang Podi had other ideas for going to the Sunset Forest this time. If he could find the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, it would be perfect. It would be best to occupy it in advance before Douluo found the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. If it really doesn't work, just find the location first and then plan slowly later. The next morning, Yang Wudi took Yang Podi on a carriage and started walking towards the Sunset Forest. The Sunset Forest was about 60 kilometers away from the Podi clan. At the age of 6, Yang Podi, it was still quite troublesome to walk there by himself. Chapter 25 Entering the Sunset Forest. Yang Wudi took Yang Podi in a carriage for about 2 hours and finally arrived at the outskirts of the Sunset Forest. The outskirts of the Sunset Forest are a soul hunting town. The town is not big, but there are many people. There are all kinds of people, mainly some restaurants and hotels, including some people who sell soul beast forest survival items. Seeing that Yang Podi is quite curious, Yang Wudi did not rush into the Sunset Forest, but took his grandson around. The most common people in the soul-breaking town are those who sell things. There are all kinds of things for sale, including some forest necessities, such as some swords and various types of weapons, bows and arrows, ropes, tents, and even some people who sell food, such as instant food in the forest, jerky, etc. Normal people cannot make a fire in the soul beast forest, and they dare not make a fire. The firelight is easy to attract some more ferocious soul beasts, especially at night. There will be all kinds of large and small soul beasts, such as poisonous spiders and poisonous ants. Of course, there are some more important things, including the feces of some rare soul beasts, such as the feces of the Titan Giant Ape or the feces of some poisonous spiders, which are some of the more powerful hunters in the forest. Although these small things look inconspicuous, they are essential in the forest. With these things, you can avoid a lot of trouble at night, and their breath can scare off many soul beast sneak attacks. There are also some who sell items obtained from the soul beast forest, including some soul beast corpses, limbs and even important organs, such as some rhinoceros horns, bear paws of bear soul beasts, etc., either tonic plants, or have certain medicinal value. There are even some who sell various poisonous grasses or herbs, which are also found in the soul hunting forest. There are relatively few people entering the soul hunting forest. At least there are many places that have not been carefully excavated by personnel, so many places will grow some relatively rare herbs. Of course, there is another type of people in the soul hunting forest, that is, mercenaries. Their main job is to help people hunt for the soul beasts and soul rings they need, and determine the price according to the age and scarcity of different soul beasts. The prices are all very expensive. For example, if it is just a simple 100-year soul beast, at least thousands of gold soul coins are required. If it is a 1,000-year soul beast, it will cost tens of thousands of gold soul coins. Some rare or fierce soul beasts will cost double or even more. There are very few mercenaries to help hunt 10,000-year soul beasts, because normal 10,000-year soul beasts need soul emperor level strongmen to hunt, and they need to go deep into the soul hunting forest, which is very dangerous. Of course, if you ask mercenaries to hunt soul rings, you will generally discuss another aspect, that is, the body of the soul beast and all the things on it belong to the mercenary team. This also leads to sometimes being very dangerous. If soul bones appear, there will often be internal strife or the employer will be killed directly to silence them. After all, the value of soul bones is very exaggerated. Just like the last auction, only the 1,000-year soul bones were sold for hundreds of thousands of gold soul coins. After Yang Wudi took his grandson to walk around the soul hunting town, the two walked straight into the Sunset Forest. The Sunset Forest is not a forest for soul beasts kept in captivity by the Empire. A warrant is not required to enter. Although number 100,000-year soul beasts have been found yet, there are still many high-level soul beasts. Otherwise, it would not be the largest soul beast forest in the Xiandao Empire. Some mercenaries looked at Yang Wudi and Yang Podi and wanted to come forward to sell their products, but they were scared away by Yang Wudi's fierce face. Of course, some people also saw Yang Wudi, an old man, and a child entering the soul hunting forest. They seemed to be whispering something, and there were even human figures flashing. After the two entered the Sunset Forest, their speed slowed down. There are all kinds of tall trees in the soul hunting forest, as well as weeds throughout the forest. The weeds are mainly blue-silver grass, and there are also various unknown grass plants or vines. Even walking is walking on the weeds. Obviously, because there are many people walking, an inconspicuous small road has slowly formed. After entering the Sunset Forest, there will be all kinds of strange sounds, hissing, chirping and even some animal roars. Of course, there will be a bird soul beast flying in the sky from time to time and making a cry. Yang Wudi was not in a hurry to take Yang Podi to hunt soul beasts. Instead, he kept introducing some soul beasts in the forest to Yang Podi, including the characteristics of the plants he saw. For example, the bamboo he saw just passed by, among which was the soul beast Guzhu. Although this type of soul beast has relatively poor attack power, it is still dangerous if you get close. For example, if you accidentally encounter a simple-looking vine on the road, it is also a soul beast. If someone or an animal approaches, it is easy to be entangled, which is also dangerous. Of course, some spider or ant soul beasts were also encountered, but many of them were 10-year soul beasts and had relatively low value. In this way, the two of them dawdled in the Sunset Forest for almost a day, and they did not encounter a suitable soul beast. Although there were two power-type soul beasts, their age was too low, and they were really a bit despised. At night, Yang Wudi found an open space, set up a tent, and scattered some feces of unknown soul beasts around. Then the two began to chat. Podi, how do you feel about spending a day in the Sunset Forest today? Grandpa, I think the soul beast forest is full of dangers. Even some small soul beasts may be very dangerous, and there will be unknown attacks at all times. Podi, you are right. You must be absolutely careful in the soul beast forest and never let your guard down. If you are not careful, you will encounter various attacks, and some attacks will be very strange. We are only on the outskirts of the Sunset Forest now. If you enter the central position of the Sunset Forest, you will encounter many soul beasts of the 10,000-year level. The highest I have even encountered is a soul beast of more than 80,000 years. The strength of that kind of soul beast is almost comparable to that of a human titled Douluo. Grandpa, a soul beast that has just exceeded 10,000 years should be easy for you to deal with. Defeating the enemy, you are right. To me, a 10,000-year-old soul beast is really nothing. My grandpa can even defeat soul beasts from 50,000 to 70,000 years ago. But you must be absolutely careful. You must not get injured in the soul beast forest. As long as you are injured, the smell of blood on your body will attract attacks from all kinds of soul beasts, one after another, and once you enter the soul hunting forest, it is basically for hunting soul rings. If you are injured, both absorbing soul rings and facing various attacks will be affected, so you must pay special attention to protecting yourself, and don't fight with soul beasts unless necessary. Defeating the enemy. There is another most important point. You have to remember, in the soul beast village, the most dangerous is never the soul beast, but people. Just like now, obviously, Yang Wudi felt something. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like, Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.